this team. We're going to stand together and fight this disease.
I come this way before, travel through the open door. Circumstances navigated the path, and like happened all so fast. No, it got lonely. Sometimes you see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm off beat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me. Cause I know I took a hold. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a break with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games get played, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth. It's all in what you do. Some things you gotta do. It's fight for meal. Take a second, see the blessing in it. But much expected, much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine up, let them see your brilliance. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. We're bringing it to life. Ooh, for the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm ASICs. Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition, I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lack it. While cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals.
So we gotta give back, give love, give something away. Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm gonna wrestle and fight this final round. Life's a break with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for
Yo, bro, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth, hey. It's all in what you do, hey. Some things you gotta do, hey. Barbershop conversations, man. What's up, Rob? What it do, DB? What it do, Phil? Main event, Ant Fresh, Dre, Bumpy, Jeffrey Lakes, Phil, Justin, man, Xavier, man. I appreciate everybody coming in. We're a little bit early, you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure Brian's gonna come in anywhere between 9 and 9:15, so I figured I'll come in a little bit early. I appreciate everybody coming in here, man. I know we're glued to the tube if we're at home, you know what I mean. So I appreciate y'all, man. Keep on sending positive energy. If you can't fight today, tomorrow, send positive energy, man, and that's what it is, man. So I appreciate that, man, from the depths of me. Yeah, man, let's jump into it. Y'all been DMing me on this. You know what I mean? It's totally perception. I saw 2 outlets that said fired, and one outlet and another outlet said they couldn't come to terms on a contract. But that's pretty much what I heard. And yeah, they said, yeah, he was. I mean, it's your perception, you know what I mean? Some outlets say fired, some say couldn't come to contract. You understand what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? I mean, like, you know, when he and I interviewed, we didn't agree on much. So I mean, maybe this is an awakening call. You know what I mean? Maybe his eyes is wide open now. You know what I mean? Floyd saw the light this week in the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's totally on y'all, man. What's up? Stay ready, man. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, big bro. Oh man, I was watching your stream for a couple of minutes. You had a couple of people on there. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. And um, so I mean, I know y'all want to get something off your chest real quick. I'll open up the phone lines. Actually, the phone lines are open already because I had to pull some stuff. So feel free, get it off your chest, and then when Brian Custer come on, we'll just go right back. You know what I mean? So I'll call him next week or so like that. You know what I mean? I'll call him and he'll come on and then we'll have another conversation, you know what I mean? And we'll go from there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? He used the word chump to describe Colin Kaepernick. I didn't agree with that. I mean, so many things. I mean, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I know y'all want to get it off your chest. Feel free to get off your chest. More than welcome to. You know what I mean? And here you go. Let's see. B-man. Here you go. So if you guys want to beam in and get off your chest, more than welcome to. I know you guys will probably be very opinionated on this topic. So feel free. The phone lines are open. And Brian Custer should be here anywhere between 9 and 9:15. So we got about 8 minutes until he comes in. And then I'll reopen the phone lines when we're ready for questions. And don't forget, if you guys have a question for him, he'll see it. I explained to all the guests, they'll see the question on the screen, and if he chooses to answer it, he chooses to answer. But I don't want to mess up his thought process. So if he chooses to stop, like Jack Reese, he chilled and answered the questions. You're more than welcome to. So your super chats, you'll see them, and we'll go from there. So I appreciate everybody coming in, man. Hey, I'll say this, man. Do not. It's just my opinion. They trying to. I think Google are setting these algorithms to show like police and civilian beautiful interactions, man. I'm just being honest. I done seen more people post positive police interaction I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? And the more you see it, the more you'll be prone to post it. Like similar to like a song you don't like, and then 2 weeks later you like it. I'm like, I never would have thought this person would have posted that. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. So you know what I mean? So that's pretty much it, man. I'm excited to be in here today, man. I appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you. I'll make sure that's not him. Okay, yeah. So I just don't feel comfortable. I genuinely don't feel comfortable putting a white police officer on my page because they didn't do it. See, here's the catch. They didn't do it in solidarity when they wasn't caught. You know what I mean? They didn't do it then. So now they're going to do it now because it's it's taking precedent now. You know what I mean? So I have mixed emotions as it relates to that, man. If you're new to the channel, it's a misleading title. Why is it misleading title? Jason Whitlock fired and Brian Whitlock. What are you talking about? It's not, man, come on. Why did I even look at that? So, anyways, man. Oh, he wasn't fired? Okay. Well, we'll say, okay, maybe I'll change it to Jason Whitlock gone. All right. Jason Whitlock leaves FS, leaves Fox. How's that? That's fair. We'll go with that. I have no problem with that. How's that? You know what I mean? Because it goes both ways. So we'll go. How's that one shot? Is that better? You know what I mean? So but you're in here though. Misleading title, bro. Yeah, they ain't showing me your live. But you know I'm in here 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every night during quarantine. And I think our quarantine in LA ends the first week of July. So part ways. Okay, part ways. Yeah, that may be better. Okay, let's go with that. I don't mean no disrespect. You know what I mean? I don't mean no disrespect. You know what I mean? His name ain't Dan Raphael to me. You know what I mean? I've had personal interactions with Dan Raphael. So So those emotions are very visceral. You understand what I'm saying? I've only had one interaction with Jason Whitlock, you know what I mean, and a couple phone conversations, and we got sensitive people in here, you know what I mean. But I mean, we could be logistically correct, but that don't change the conversation we're gonna have right now. You know what I mean? So, but I am appreciative that he came on the show and took some cold phone calls from all y'all. You know what I mean? And he'll be back on, and we'll have this conversation further. And he's gonna get a job somewhere. He's not going nowhere. I don't know where it's gonna be. Maybe Showtime. Showtime needs something, dog. Showtime needs something. Showtime is dying. I think Showtime is dying. And once they realize that black people are leaving because of Paul and Malignaggi, then they're gonna have hell to pay, man. They just like America today, they didn't think we can come to this. You know what I mean? They didn't think that people would align themselves with the black plight. They didn't think that. They just thought it'll be a couple black people out there. It'll last for 3 or 4 days. This shit ain't stopping, dog. I'm telling you, this ain't stopping. The numbers are going to change, high and low. It'll be more people on the weekend than during the week. But it ain't stopping. People don't got to go to work. See, here's the gift and the curse of Donald Trump. Donald Trump gave you an extra couple $100 a week for unemployment. He came back and shot him in the foot. You know what I mean? Because people don't want to work. They want that unemployment, dog. Shit, what they get, $800 a week? God, $900 a week? That's more than minimum wage, right? Or $15 an hour. And I don't think unemployment is taxed. Is it tax? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. I think, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, if he goes to YouTube, it's going to work for him. You know, the first year, he'll have 200,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? He'll have 200,000 subscribers the first. It's no video, Brian, but it's audio. I don't know if you want to be seen. You got to update your iPhone, man. Brian Custer is in the building. I don't know if you. Let me ask him if you want to. What's up, Brian? How you feel, man? Can you hear me? I'll bring him back in when he's ready. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a good show, man. 1,050 a week? Who the fuck's gonna go back to work? That's $4,200. Man, this let me see if Brian's ready. You ready, Brian? No, it says he'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm not taking no job. If you giving me $4,200 a week and I can hustle, shit. I could be a trainer on the side. I can sell t-shirts out the trunk. I can be the middleman for a whole bunch of other people and a whole bunch of other stuff. Man, I can make $3,000 hustling. Like, you know what I mean? It's gonna be odd hours, you know what I mean? But shit, put that 4,000 with my 3,000, that's $7,000 of untaxed revenue a month. I'm not going to work. Because I remember when I was on unemployment, this was in 2007 and 2008. But I just had to fill out that I was looking for jobs. You know what I mean? You put it on the. I don't know if it's the same. You guys tell me if it's the same, and you just put it on the back of the unemployment slip, and that's what I did. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to work. You know what I mean? Brian's gonna figure out his on his end. Oh, it's till July 25th out here? Well, we'll be going live every day till July 25th. How about that? You know, I mean, we're going to get it through. What is it, June 1st today? Juneteenth? We should have a special show on Juneteenth. Maybe Deontay Wilder be talking about Juneteenth. Maybe I can get him on for Juneteenth. Yeah, maybe I'll ask D if he's talking by then. Maybe we can do a Juneteenth show with Deontay Wilder to this day. That'll be dope, right? That'll be dope. You know what I mean? Maybe Earl Spence, since Juneteenth is originated in Texas. You know what I mean? So maybe we can do a special show like that. And speaking of Earl Spence, Brian Custer is dropping tomorrow. I'm real excited to watch this interview. You know what I mean? Because I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. When the black subject interviews with the black interviewer, it just comes out different. You know what I mean? It just comes out better. So I'm really looking forward to that. I thought Brian did a hell of a job. And I know you guys will remember this when he did a special on Charlo and Earl Spence and the day they sparred. Remember that? I remember that. I enjoyed that greatly. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And once he figure out his on his end, he'll beam right in. So but yeah, man, that's what it is, man. America's in a peril, man. America is in peril, man. Did you ever think that this could happen in America? Anyone? Nah, no one. You know what I mean? I've always desired this because I've been black for 42 years and I've been pulled over about 20 times. You know what I mean? Been discriminated against. I've never been hit by police though. But I've been discriminated against. And truth be told, we just gonna go audio then, B, because you're not showing up. B, you there? Brian, can you hear me? Oh, yeah. This ain't no Brian Custer. Why you? Wait, is this Brian? Nah, this not Brian. Nah, that's not Brian. That's some guy playing. But yeah, he'll be in any minute. And Drew Titan he'll be in here if he ain't fall asleep yet. I forgot what I was talking about. I totally forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, he got me. But that was a good one. Whoever got me, you know what I mean. Juneteenth. Oh, Earl Spence. What else was I talking about? Nobody want to call in? Y'all want to beam in a call in yet? You know, I got real fans out there, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this right now. People really don't like me. They admire me. I mean, they don't dislike me. They admire my courage. How the hell can that little man be so? You know, they use like negative stuff to describe me. How can that little black dude talk all that shit? When really they saying, man, I admire his courage. Yeah, I mean, they killed an innocent black man in Louisville who used to feed the cops for free. Wow. What's popping, big homie?
Hey.
You still hungover? You good? You hungover? You good? Where you at? Where you at with it?
No, I'm good. I'm at home now. Now St. Louis still on fire. It's still going on 24/7. It burnt down to 7-Eleven. Well, it's still on fire.
Good.
A bunch of shit going on.
Good. No, we can't stop. Can't stop. I'll be back out there tomorrow. Can't stop, won't stop. I'll be back. I'll be back in time, hopefully, you know, to do the show.
Yeah, there was a lot going on last night. First, thanks for all the birthday wishes to everyone. DB, thanks to you and the nice young lady that was on, Liz with whatever, I forget her name. So thanks to everybody.
Liz.
It was really good. But as y'all know, it's a lot going on, so really didn't have, the time to join. But now, it's 24/7, shutting down highways, shutting down business, negotiate. It's no more negotiation. It's, it's demand.
No more negotiations. No more negotiations. Not at all. Now, we can't afford to negotiate now, man, because if we negotiate, it's going to halt the mission. You know what I mean? And we can't afford. They're going to have to make decisions while we protest. You understand? While
they know the decisions to make.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple and it's plain as day.
Yeah.
I mean, listening to the way they report and,
isn't it funny?
Some of the answers. A salute to our mayor though, because she addressed it. Hey,
I don't know your mayor.
Killing.
So you got to talk to her. You got to talk to us like we don't know.
Oh, okay. Oh, when I say our mayor, thank you, Smith. Yes, when they interviewed her, she addressed it as that was a killing of an innocent black man. Whereas you probably seen a lot of other correspondents when they, talk on it, he died in the custody of law enforcement. Now he was murdered on the streets by these so-called law enforcement. And that dude should get capital punishment.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Absolutely. Just think if we went to jail in the 80s and the 90s for having a pound of whatever on us and we got 25 years, what I mean? You take a life in public? Come on, man. Like there ain't no other way around it, man. There ain't no other way around it. No other way around it, dog. 25 to life. You know what I mean? With no chance of parole.
No chance.
No chance.
That's the only way I feel bad about it. I mean, and really to top it off, the way I am, when I go back and forth with, my family members that subscribe to the quote unquote Christian faith or whatever, I'm an eye for an eye person in that regard, because that was malicious. You can almost say it was premeditated. I just can't wait to get my knee on a black man's neck in a perfect position with his hands cuffed behind his back. Because he showed when he did that shit, if it wasn't cuffed. I bet you that's his worst nightmare, to run to somebody like you, Fred, 101 in a dark alley, or myself, or any black man.
Oh, it's going down. Oh,
so
man.
they hide behind that gun in the back, and then the support that they was having. But no, it's time for all that support to crumble. Once again, no more negotiate. It's only demand,
Yeah, no more.
We ain't asking, we ain't asking, we take it. They lucky I ain't going back out now, but I gotta, like I say, play it safe. My daughters is here now, so I'm the primary custodian here now. So they're my main mission right now. But now it's still going on here, still going on.
Beautiful. Keep it going. Keep inspiring people when you're walking down the street. Like, keep going, man. Rile up the troops. Everything you doing right now, you're riling the troops up. You know what I mean? Even an Instagram post may inspire 2 people to get out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
see, Floyd done had a change of heart also, huh?
Yeah, Floyd listens to my channel, dog. Like, for real. Fight Hype put him on to my channel. Heavy. Right. Yeah, man. Fight Hype.
But I mean, we need to see his face. That's good. He's talking, but I mean, we need to see him out there like Nick Cannon. We need to see him out there like a bunch of the other quote unquote celebrities.
Yeah,
we
sure.
Need to see his face. And it's one thing, like we said last night, you could easily talk it, get out here and walk it. Now, that's cool. He's going to pay for the gas from him. Like I said, the financial aspect is a part of the equation.
Sure.
So we can't forget that.
Facts. Big facts.
But he needs to step up real big. If that's all he could do, he needs to step up big time in that.
Yeah.
One thing before I get off the line, what you think about the former owners of BET, the Johnson
14 trillion? I mean, whatever it equates to. I'm not getting out of the way of nobody's mission statement right now. You understand what I'm saying? I can't. You know what I mean? Right. I don't know if it's going to be reparations or legislation. You know what I mean? But I'm not. I'm not in the mood to go backwards right now. You know what I mean? I'm not in the mood to go backwards.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the number. Just off the top of your head, do that.
I don't know what the number equates to. That's why I don't know what it is. But if it's 14 trillion, it's 14 trillion. Obviously, they got the money, right? Man, these cops gonna make 200. Definitely. Each police officer gonna make $250,000 right now a year. You know how much overtime they getting? And then they may have combat pay. And then it may get bumped. I don't know. Maybe a police officer can come in, but
the reason why I feel like the number should be way higher.
Yeah,
that's just me. I really feel.
Facts.
So let me get off the line because it's
perfect timing.
Perfect timing. And
perfect timing.
Yeah.
With the man of the hour is here. Happy birthday, soldier. Happy birthday. Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. Happy birthday, big homie. Happy birthday.
All right, thank you.
All right, appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna close the phone lines real quick. Without further ado, man, Mr. Brian Custer, man, how you feeling, man?
My brother, how are you?
I'm feeling good. Hey, you famous, man. You had an impersonate someone impersonating you before like 10 minutes ago. I was like, Brian.
Really? Yeah. I hope the brother was good looking.
Well, he just showed his voice because he was trying to prank me, man. How's it going on the East Coast? First of all, I want to say thank you, man. I know we're in opposite time zones, man, and I'm totally appreciative of you taking real time out of your day to hang out in the barbershop with us.
Hey, let me tell you something. It's I am on the East Coast, and it's rough because usually I'm in bed and in REM sleep by 11. So I took a nap and everything, so I can stay up late tonight because I definitely wanted to join you.
Thanks, dog. I appreciate. How's everything going, man? So what's life like for a commentator during quarantine and now we're revolt now?
Yeah, I mean it is especially out here in the East Coast, and I'm in right outside New York City in Jersey. So obviously from a coronavirus pandemic standpoint, it's hot. So we've been quarantined here since I think early March. I had 3 boys, so been doing a lot of online schooling with that type of thing. Luckily, we're all healthy.
Sure.
And I'm like most Americans. I mean, I haven't worked in 3 months, and I really haven't collected a check in 3 months. So, like everyone else, just we're want to get back to work, and in the meantime, started this podcast. So that's taken up a lot of my time. Is getting that up and running and making sure we have really good guests for the people, and that's what really takes up my time, my family, and doing the podcast.
And let's jump into that. You got a big episode tomorrow dropping at midnight. When's it dropping?
Yeah, so we just put it up, so it's up there.
Okay, it's up now. Okay. Let me go find it. Okay, go ahead.
Now we did Errol Spence, and it's I think it's almost an hour. We talked for about a good 55 minutes, and it's really revealing. I think people will love it. I'm just hoping that this podcast can get half as popular as what you've got at the barbershop here. If I can get half the people now to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to the Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer, my life will be great. To get half the people who would support that support your program.
Oh, I'm going to it right now, man. And and I thought you did a hell of a job. I don't know what fight it was for because everything seems to blur because we doing fights at you and I every weekend.
Yeah.
But you did a hell of a job when you went down to Texas to see them spar.
Yeah.
That was a hell of an episode you did with Earl and Derek James and Charlo.
Yeah.
You interviewed him in the ring and all that. Yeah.
That was his homecoming fight. In Dallas. I used to live in Dallas. That's like my second home anyway. So I couldn't wait. Now, I give him thanks because he gave me all access to his camp. He shoot everything, and they, him and Charlo sparred. He's like, yeah, you can shoot it. Don't worry about it. And, they didn't say, hey, look, don't use this shot or only use this shot. It was like, hey, go ahead, use what you want. And, Errol's always been really gracious with his time with me. And I appreciate that. And that's one of the reasons why I really wanted him as a guest on the podcast.
And what's some of the things you guys talked about and covered?
Well, we went in depth, man. We talked a lot about asking him where he is now from a health standpoint. And he said he's basically, in his opinion, 100% healthy. He felt like February was the point where he started really working out, feeling no pain. He talks a lot about, and you'll hear in the podcast, that he hasn't sparred yet and that he won't spar. He said probably until July, September, because he had these new posts put in his mouth and he still has 2 more that has to go in. And so he said, thus the reason why he hasn't sparred. He's done everything else but spar. And he said, but he wants to start sparring in July. And, he says that he wants to fight. And he's talked to Al Heyman about fighting in October, November at the latest.
Wow. And how do you look physically to you?
Physically, he looked great. I mean, and he talked a lot about that. He just said that he talks about, you'll see that he talks a lot about the car accident. And he said it was a warning, and that he needed to heed that warning because he felt as if he wasn't as focused out of the ring when he wasn't, when he knew he didn't have a fight set up, he wasn't as focused. Whereas before, he was always in shape. He felt like, especially after the Lamont Peterson fight, that he was ballooning up. He was getting up to like 180, and then was using training camp to try to get back down into shape. And he said, he even talks about, he says that's one of the reasons why he felt like he didn't stop Mikey Garcia. He said the day of the weigh-in, he was still 4 pounds over, that he was in a sauna suit, and he was shadow boxing for over an hour to try to drop weight, and then got out of that and got into a hot pool sauna basically thing and sat in there for another hour just to make weight for the Mikey Garcia fight. And he said he really believes that's the reason why he didn't stop him, because he said from a power standpoint, it had zapped him so much just to make weight for that fight.
And you know, after that Lamont Peterson fight, he got a little bit famous now, so the checks probably got a little bit bigger. You know, more some late night steaks with mashed potatoes with the special gravy. You know what I'm saying?
And partying. He said he did a lot of that, and he wasn't focused, as he said even before. He said, "Hey, when I was fighting, getting ready to fight Kell Brook, getting ready to fight Lamont Peterson, I didn't even." He said probably the heaviest he weighed may have been like 160. But he said after that, he said, man, I was ballooning up to 180, 185. And he said, you know, that accident was, as he talked about, he had to heed the warning because it should have been fatal, is what he says.
Now let's take you back for a little bit. How did you get into being a man of the hour and every time the lights come on?
You mean at Showtime?
Showtime. I mean, I know you do Big East basketball, right?
Yeah.
Big Three. I mean, I've seen you all over. I just fortunate that I get a chance to meet you during boxing.
Yeah.
You know,
it's been a long time. I mean, you know, I've been in television for well over 2 decades, and you know, I started like most broadcasters in local news, and worked in my hometown of Columbus. Moved to Dallas and worked there. I was a sports anchor there, and then when I went from Dallas, I came here to New York for a sports network here. And, you know, when I was here, I always, you know, loved boxing, wanted to do boxing, and got the opportunity at a network I was working here in New York called SNY. They had a show called Broadway Boxing that Lou DiBella does and still does it.
I'm pointing like I'm in New York. Like, yeah. It feels like that, though. But it feels like that, though. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's basically club fights that he to put on all around town, and now because of the insurance issues, he does them out in Connecticut and things, because it's so expensive to do club fights in New York now. But I mean, at the time I was doing them back in when we first started, Curtis Stevens was on there. I mean, all kind of guys were getting their start on Broadway boxing, and so I was calling the fights then, and just, you know, one day out of the blue, I got a call from Showtime, and you know, they wanted me to come and call the fights, but I was still under contract and I couldn't. And then once my contract was up, I was like, yeah, I'm going to make that switch. And that's when I made the switch.
And so how is boxing comparative to basketball? And
it is, you know, first of all, action packed. I mean, obviously basketball is quicker. You know, the prep time is a lot less because there's only like 10 guys you know need to prep for. So I mean, boxing is, I mean, if you're going to do it and you're going to do it at a high level, I mean, you got to prep. You know, luckily we get bio stuff on the fighters, but then after a while you know them, and so for me it's a lot easier because, you know, I can just call guys now and say, hey, look, coming up. Hey, you know, talk to me about what you've been doing in camp compared to last time. And so I kind of have a general feeling before we get to the fighter meetings, what's been going on with those guys. And so, you know, you got to prep. I mean, preparation is the key in whatever sport you do. If you don't prep, you're going to get exposed.
How do you sustain the likability factor? Your likability factor is high. Mine is rather low. How do you, like I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. We at the barbershop, Brian. How do you sustain that? Because you're people that hasn't met you. So I know you have a big bravado. Like, I wouldn't fuck with you. I would shoot you, Brian. Like, you don't know what I'm saying? Like, so like how do you balance that? And this it's a more personal question for me.
No, it is, you know, it's so funny you say that because, you know, a lot of cats will see me and they'll be like, yo, you know, you seem like a nice guy. And then, you know, they don't know that, you know, I box, I'm a martial artist.
Yeah.
You know, you come with me, we gonna throw.
Yeah.
But, I am who I am. I one thing I think in television is, again, you got to be yourself. And I've never tried to be anybody else. I've always just tried to be me. Unfortunately, one thing that you will find is that I think for the majority of I would say more so the white media will always, if there's another person of color who works at a network I work at, we're going to automatically get compared. And so you got to be secure in yourself and shoot down those comparisons, because some people take offense to it. I don't. You know, a lot of people compare me to something, or compare me to Gus Johnson, or compare, you know, I don't take offense to it. Now, that's because I'm secure in myself. I know who I am. I'm not trying to be anybody else. But I, you know, again, I just think that the key is in our business, you got to be yourself.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of subs. I don't know if you see it in the chat, but you're getting a whole lot of new subs. Here's the link, and make sure. Go ahead.
I love it, because again, on the Barbershop, if we can be half as successful,
you gonna be it
as what you got, then what I'm doing my job. And people can also, we have our website is called laststandsports.com. And I always tell people, go to our website, email us, because we want, people may say, hey, look, I want you to get that. Give us ideas of people who you want us to interview, and we're going to go after them. They can support the show too if they want to. I feel like Coming to America. Listen, we accept the money that jingles. We prefer the kind that folds.
and neither one of us got that soul glow. You know, neither one of us, dog. Yeah. See, hey, they coming in, man. Brian, just subscribe to your podcast. Barbershop Conversations is the Black Wall Street. We support everything black, man. Yeah, we got a great market space out here. You know what I mean? And but man, you just took me to a perfect landing spot. Might as well jump into Paulie Malignaggi now about race. You know what I'm saying? And I have the clip ready.
Yeah, please.
And you know what, guys? Brian reached out to me and was like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And because I think that's, people always think like, because everybody knows I'm a hunter. Like, if I see something, I'm just going to attack. But Brian was like, man, let's just go ahead and talk about this shit, man. Let's go. And it was queued up. Okay, here it is right here. But I gotta queue it up. Share the screen. And cool. So this is your coworker.
Into the race conversations is because this is one of the exact examples of why I don't believe there is racial oppression in 2020 in this century. I believe there has been, sure, but I don't believe there's any racial oppression today. I believe it's all made up, and I believe it's to join into the race conversations is because
so that's pretty much
one of the exact examples of why I don't believe there is racial oppression in 2020. In
all
this
yours.
century. I believe that.
All yours, B.
Yeah, you know, here, first of all, let me just say thank you for bringing it to my attention, because I've been so immersed in this podcast every day. I had no idea. I mean, when you told it, and I'm looking, I was like, he said what? No, he did not. And then you sent me the thing, and I was like, send it to me. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But you know, listen, when I heard it, first of all, hurtful. 2, uninformed. 3, divisive. I mean, you listen, ignorant. Because I would say, and I would flip it back on whether it's Paulie or anyone who thinks like him. So do you still believe that now? I mean, do you still believe that now? After what happened with the Floyd family and George Floyd, after what happened with Tamir Rice, after what happened with Keon Taylor, after what happened with anybody else, Philip Castillo. I mean, I can just go on and on and on. And for you to have the unmitigated gall to say something like that is just uninformed and flat out wrong. I just the thing I can't get over is how can you be so steeped in your own conviction that you don't even want to have a conversation about it.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because I reached out to him with an olive branch. Like, I swear, because I have a cool working relationship with Paul. We've never hung out and had a beer or anything like that, but I know his temperament. So I know I got him, you know, he is who he is, you know. And so I just extended the olive branch. That he said, you ain't as smart as me. I said, okay, I'm done, Paul. I said, peace, Paul. You know, that's basically what he was implying. And my problem with that is everybody that comes to Showtime has a story. how can you have a level of empathy? I don't want everyone to have empathy for me, but I want you to respect my journey.
Absolutely.
And like Laura, who just had a draw, I believe, with Castano. Did you that fight? Yeah. Or Tank Davis was a foster kid, reunited with his mother, like how can you tell that story from an earnest perspective? Or Gary Russell, who comes out to Coming to America. You get what I'm saying? Like, how can you tell those stories with an earnest?
You raise a great point. And that's probably one of the reasons why, like, I have a soft spot for Tank Davis. Listen, I understand.
Me too, dog. Me too. Go ahead, dog. Go ahead.
Things where I sometimes you want to shake him, be like,
man,
do not do that. But then I have to understand and respect people for who they are and what they have come through, because we are a product of our environment. And when I had the opportunity to go to Baltimore and we sat down and we talked for well over an hour. And when he told me, brother, all of the stuff that he went through as a child, whoa, I was like, damn. Okay. You know what? I understand. I mean, when you are that young and you've taken away and all you've seen is your mother and the father both be in prison and things of that nature, you into a group home, and then in a group home that you seeing kids at 5, 6 getting beat up, your uncle gets you out of the home, not because he loves you, because he wanted the check from the state, because he's saying, I'm taking care of this guy. And then he said he would just wake him and his brother up in the middle of the night, beat him with a belt, tell him to go take out the trash, and then whoop him again, and then tell him to go right back to bed, just to mess. I was like, unbelievable stories that he gave me. I said, okay, I can understand why he does some things that he does. I'm not justifying them, but I can understand that.
Yeah, you have 42 subscribers in the past couple minutes, just so you know.
Man, that's just
we just gonna keep a count, man.
Hey, the Last Stand podcast with Brian. We trying to get to half the level of the barbershop.
Hey, Jarvis says, Brian, change the corny intro on the podcast and we got your back.
No, I had my man from New York made that beat for me, man. He made that beat specially for me. and I had my man Morrow. He gave the voiceover for it.
Oh, that's Morrow.
That's Morrow.
Okay, so how's working with Morrow? Someone asked that in the chat. How's working with him?
Man, I
like him a lot.
Morrow, a beautiful mind. I think if you understand, or you saw the documentary that Showtime did on him, and you understand mental illness, you understand being bipolar. I mean, he's amazing. But I call him a beautiful mind. If you saw that movie,
yeah.
Morrow, you can give Morrow a sheet. He will look over it like this, and he's got it just like that. I mean, he's got it all, everything. He only needs to look over it once, and he's got everything right here. And his mind is constantly going. So he talks all the time.
And he can't sit still. Like I've never even shaken his hand or anything like that, for real. That's how. But I say hi to him in passing.
I think he says he sleeps maybe 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. But he is a guy that he wants to be a perfectionist. And if he gets one sliver of criticism, it can mess him up for a day or a week.
Wow.
That is how deep it is with him. And sometimes we have to tell him, stay off social media. Don't look at it, because if he does and he sees something that really hurts him, he'll shut down and will be in his room the entire weekend until the fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted you to say you got another sub. I just wanted you to see that.
My man.
we gonna try to break some records tonight, bro.
Yeah, bro. Oh man.
So I mean, I can't help but ask about the Emmys. Are those Floyd Mayweather Emmys, Deontay Wilder Emmys?
Yeah, those are from when I worked in New York here at SNY, from hosting. Won that one for anchoring our sports show. The other one I won was where we went to Africa. we did a documentary on baseball in Africa, and
Nice.
it was Dusty Baker, Dave Winfield, all these former baseball greats went to Ghana to teach the kids how to play baseball. And we went, and then we took a tour of the slave castles there, the Elmina Castle, the oldest slave castles in the world.
Yeah, in Ghana.
We followed them there, and it was just a really good piece that we put together. And so we won that one for that one. And then that was another one for our sports show that I anchored.
Did you get some for, because I know Floyd and Deontay, do y'all get them too?
That Showtime gets those. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Those go to Showtime.
You got to compliment Brian and Ray Flores of Gems of Showtime. Speaking of that, what types of conversations are between you and Ray? Do y'all have great conversations?
Ray Flores?
Yeah, Ray Flores, yes.
Yeah, I don't. I used to speak to Ray more when I was doing the PBC fights on FS1.
Gotcha.
He was the ring announcer.
Yeah.
So now that he's come over, he does like sometimes we will stream some of the undercard stuff.
He's up top. Yeah.
Yeah. So he will do those type of things. So it's not like we really see each other that much when we're doing that, because if we do have fighter meetings, theirs are really early in the morning, and then ours are maybe like an hour or 2 hours later. So it's not like we will run into each other.
Fighter meetings. What I've been in a few, but just from your side of the DS or the table, what goes into fighter meetings?
They can be great. I mean, there are some guys who are just a real joy. I can think of Mikey Garcia. I mean, just a real pleasant type guy. When you're sitting there talking to him,
Mikey's cool.
It's cool. I mean, just cool. Will tell you anything you need to know. Some guys are, try to keep things close to the vest. Some guys will, when we're all around the table, will keep it more close to the vest. And then once we're done, I may walk out with them and say, okay, tell me really what you're looking to do. And then he'll say, well,
yeah,
I want to say that in front of them, but blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
And that kind of thing. And then there's sometimes they can be pretty intense depending on who the person is. Adrian's had some run-ins with, like Al and, Deontay at one point was mad, I think, at Steve Farhood and Paulie. So, they can be intense sometimes when they walk in there because, they just mad. And, sometimes I have to kind of be the guy in the middle, like, hey,
exactly my point. Exactly how I described you. My point. Your likability is like sky high.
Like they just doing it. It was not personal. They do their job, but again, television, people see what they want to see. So some people may see Steve Farhood's scorecard and be like, "Oh, he don't like such and such. That's why he's giving him a." No, he's not. He's just doing his job. So yeah, they can be very interesting sometimes, and sometimes they can be lackluster.
What's some of the more memorable moments you've had
in a fighter meet?
Yeah, sure. I mean, just overall career.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, fighter meetings. I think that you remember the time. I think it was Adrian who was fighting. I think at the Barclays Center, and he went off. I was doing the press conference, and he went off on Leonard.
Oh, I was there.
You too, like all y'all want to see me lose.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
you went off on Leonard that day.
Yeah, I said, look, what I tell him all the time, whether you win or lose, quite frankly, I don't care. My check's the same. Bonus if you win. More money if you lose. So I'm there to just do a fight. That fighter meeting was off the chain because he walked in with major attitude.
Okay.
And went off, and and so we were just like, all right, well, thank you, Adrian, and he walked out. Then there were some where like I think I want to say it was Floyd and McGregor, where everyone was like, "Oh, Floyd's not even coming to the fighter meeting." This thing, he just doesn't. Man, Floyd came in, and I think he stayed in for like an hour. He just talked, and maybe he knew it was the last hurrah.
His last go around.
So he just, we talked about everything in there, and it was for a Floyd fighter meeting. It was really enjoyable. So, and I will say this: he's always been professional. I think
he's that way, especially when it's about the money. He's always that way. He's always that way.
On time, and comes in. But, there's been others where, there could be a guy, there'll be a fighter, and how they are. There'll be a fighter and you love them. And they're like, great. They're like, man, I really enjoy him. Then he becomes a champion. And next thing he comes in, he got 35 people with him. And you're looking like,
yeah.
Who are all these people?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man.
So they're crazy. They can be out there sometimes.
They're air sanitizers. That's what they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now I'm curious. What was the reaction from the Paulie stuff? Because I
snapped.
I thank you for bringing it to my attention. That's
man, I unsubscribed to Showtime.
Wow.
I called who I needed to call.
Yeah.
And I expressed my sentiment, and I said before I go in on Paulie, because everyone has relationships, right?
Yeah.
I said before I'm about to kill Paulie, I'm just gonna say I don't know what you're gonna do on your end, but out of respect for our relationship, I'm just gonna tell you what I need to do. And then the next day I went in on Paulie. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's just beyond. I just don't understand. I can see if Paulie's from South Dakota.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, man, he says he's from Brooklyn and he trained in Gleason Gym with Zab Judah, if I'm not mistaken.
Amen.
So Gleason Gym, the old Gleason Gym, was like the epic center.
Yeah.
Every fight that went through New York went through Gleason Gym somehow, some way, whether they trained there or we had media meetings there or something like that. And I couldn't grasp it in the beginning. And then I realized and this is just what I believe, that there's been I'm not speaking for you, Brian. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to separate that so the audience won't think, oh, he was on the show with Brian and Brian agreed with him. No, I think that he's always had a level of resentment towards Black athletes, Black fighters, because of how his tone is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Sean Porter's on steroids. How did he beat me that bad? You know what I mean? Like, how did Conor McGregor come over here and steal my audience? I'm better than Arturo Gatti. How come I don't get the respect that I deserve? How come God didn't give me the power? I'm a good boxer. I'm a good looking guy. You know what I mean? How come I'm not? And he always come with this sense of resentment in his tone. Like, it's never a casual conversation. Like, yeah, he's good. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I give him his props. You know what I mean? It's never like, how can Deontay Wilder go 41-0 with 40 knockouts, man? And he don't even know how to box, So I think like he's always and as he doesn't even know it, it's so much it pumps through his heart now. You know what I mean? It's like in his blood now. And you know what I mean? I wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. I'm being honest.
Wow. That's harsh.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I will say this, in the time and the climate that we're living in right now, when you have leadership that is divisive and that
who he supports,
who basically has empowered a whole group of people to finally feel that, hey, I can finally say maybe that I wanted to say that I've been holding in for years. You have a leader who look at what this guy did today in DC, pushed those protesters out of the way, and then stood in front of that church, held up that Bible with all of his cronies around him, and then walked right back just to try to show, hey, look, because he was mad that the report came out that he got scared and went and got hunkered into a bunker on Friday. So he got to show these people I'm big and bad. I'm going to walk across the street to the church, hold up a Bible, and then walk back. I mean, so when you have a guy that is that Tenaichi and then says, hey, look, I want a law and order state, and gives people now the right to feel, hey, I'm going to say whatever I want to say. I think this is what we get now. Now, I will say this. The beauty of our team is that our relationships are great. I mean, it is the only place that I work at where we will go out to dinner. And I think you've seen that.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
wherever we are, our boss does make us go out to dinner. So whether it's Thursday, whether it's Friday, one of those days we do all go out together as a group, and we have a good time. Now,
absolutely.
We know that he's MAGA. He knows that I'm left and he's left. He may be this. He may be moderate. Jim Gray may be this. He may be that. We have a good time. We will sit around at the table. We'll talk. Now, nobody will say anything crazy.
Yeah.
They may say, well, I believe Trump is doing a good job because we say, are you crazy? You see what he's done, and we'll have a great discussion. Nothing on the lines of this.
Yeah. No, this is just
on the lines of this, because then that's like, wait a minute, now you going a little bit left now.
Yeah.
You something wrong here.
Yes.
So that's why it was surprising and hurtful, because it's like, bro, you grew up around and been in boxing just around black.
Yes.
So I understand from Bensonhurst, but come on now. You've been around black folk a long time.
Yeah.
And so that to me, that was the disappointing thing. I will say this though, hey, look, Showtime has been good. I know they've addressed it. Now, what they did, I can't tell you that because that's above my pay grade.
Yeah, sure.
I know it wouldn't happen. I can tell you that much.
I hope they address it, because I go to fights on my dime now, Brian.
Yeah,
I purposely gave up my credential.
Wow.
And because I need to say what I want to say, when I want to say it, how I want to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be hell in the city. If I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be hell in the city.
Yeah.
That motherfucker is on that DS talking about Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. Oh shit. Nah. And it's gonna be in my city? Shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
It's basically free for me. If it was in New York, I would go just to raise hell. You know, I'm paying for my own hotel, paying for my whatever. I'll gladly take that 1,500 on the chin. You know what I mean? Just for, because someone got to do it. You know what I mean? but I will say this about y'all team. I love Steven Espinoza's interaction with the team and the fighters. Steven Espinoza, I mean, he's gonna have to make a tough decision eventually as it relates to Paulie Malignaggi, obviously, because I'm telling every subscriber that I know to unsubscribe to Showtime and this and that because of Paulie Malignaggi. However, I will say that Steven Espinoza, he doesn't walk into the room and try and change the temperature. You know what I mean? And that's a great skill set to have, even with me. And he knows I'm very rogue per se, right? And he still talks to me and treats me with a great deal of respect. You know, I'm considered the janitor, and he treats me like I'm the president. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
I hear you.
And I respect that about him. You know, and Al Bernstein, I've had a great relationship with Al Bernstein. Yeah. We disagree 50% of the time, but it's a communicative type of conversation. And Mora, I've never really spoke to him because he's always moving so fast. You know, I've never had a conversation with him. And then obviously Paulie, man. Yeah. These conversations will never ever happen again. So, but yeah, man, it's just
it's cool. I mean, listen, when you are the child of immigrants. I mean, so he understands what's going on in our country. And I know it troubles him. I can tell it troubles him deeply dealing with this. Because he likes that. Hey, look, I got a good team. I know our relationship, and I'm sure probably, and this is just me. He and I haven't spoken about this, but from what I know about him, I'm sure he's probably like wanting to punch his hand through the wall. Like, the heck are you doing? He
wouldn't. He can't punch a hole through the wall, Brian. He got 6 knockouts with 5 losses. That's something like that. I don't
know. But I know he cares, and really upsets him. I know it upsets him. Because he even called me when it first went down. When he was like, "Hey, I know you probably heard blah, 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 blah." And I had told him, I had just talked to you. I said, look, it's just been brought to my attention. I'm reading this stuff right now. Like, well, I just want to let you know I'm on it. And so that's why I was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Hey, man, brother's on it. Cool. You do what you got to do. I don't even want to know what you're going to do. business. Just y'all business. You don't pay me for none of that. Hey, handle it. Do like Spike Lee. Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Speaking of do the right thing, we'll get to that in a second. Jack Reese he left Supercuts and came to the barbershop and said, "What's up, Brian?" Jack
Reese.
Yeah.
Barbershop tour.
Yeah, Jack Reese. Hey, man, we in here.
Golly, hey, one of the best, man. I know.
Yes, very much so.
They can say what they want about their officiating and the referees, but Jack Reese is one of the best in the sport. I don't care what anybody.
And a better human being.
Absolutely.
I mean, better human being. And I can say that from the depths of me. A very good human being. He always invites me to dinner, but I like soul food and stripper poles when I travel. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it a buck, Brian. You know what I mean? And he ain't ready to hang with me just yet. You know what I'm saying?
He's never invited me.
Oh man, I'm going to DG's. I might fall asleep there, Brian. I'm gonna call a spade, man. You know what I mean? Little Fred tried to get in where he fit in, B.
Fred, you crazy, man. You crazy.
But yeah, you threw me another alley-oop. Did you see that Spike Lee merging of like Radio Raheem? Yes. Did you see that on CNN?
I did see that.
Oh man. Oh,
that's
my
beautiful, man. And the crazy thing was, we had just saw I have boys. I have a 17-year-old. I got a 15-year-old. I got a 10-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Took a break, huh?
You what? What do you mean? You can't be pregnant. It was one of those. You know? But since this quarantine, which they have hated, but then we made it fun. It was like every weekend we had movie night.
Mm-hmm.
So what we had started doing was putting your pick into a box.
Oh wow, I need to do that.
We shake it up and then we pull it. Whoever we pull, we got to watch that movie as a family. So that's what we've been doing every weekend since we've been in quarantine here. And so this weekend we said, okay, we ain't no pick. Parents are picking this one. So we said, well, y'all need to see Do the Right Thing. What happened with Mr. Floyd. So we watched Do the Right Thing, and they were watching it and they were like, oh, this movie's taking forever. And then once it got to that part, they were like all in watching that. And afterwards we had a great discussion, and it was interesting, Fred, because we work out. We usually work out with the boys. We go in the garage and work out. We run in the neighborhood around here. And sometimes one of my 15-year-old will lag behind, and I'm always like, come on, I'm jogging, like, come on, you got to stay with me, man. Mm-hmm. And he would always say, why are you on me so much about that? And then once this happened, it was like, oh, okay.
He gets it, right?
I get it now. And the 10-year-old came to me and he just said this to me the other day. He said, but Dad, you see, he didn't even resist. And look what happened.
Yeah.
So why did he didn't resist, and he still got killed. So why? So what will happen? Even if I don't resist, will I get hurt too? I mean, how do you answer that? I mean, you know what I mean? I'm sitting here trying to look at my 10-year-old like, look, the only thing you can do, and the first thing I had to tell him was, I don't have all the answers, but I do. The only thing you can do is be respectful and just hope and pray that you get one of the good ones. Because if you get one of these other ones, I don't know. I'll probably be put in jail for getting. Yeah.
Isn't that painful that we got to have these conversations?
Gotta have them, man. And we've had these conversations. I've had these conversations with my oldest ones when they were, that was a good 7 years ago. And now I'm having it again with the little one because he's 9, 10, and he understands this stuff. And so that's what they don't understand. That's what they don't recognize, the hurt and the pain. And I'm praying that this is a seminal moment for this country, because when you look at some of these protests, most of them white folk out there. They're there. So finally they're starting to get it. But I will say this, and it kills me that the one thing, like my wife always tells me on social media, she I'm not a really big social media guy. Now I've been doing more promoting podcasts.
Yes.
And she says, stay off of your feelings. And I've been, there have been many nights where I'm like,
oh, I do that a lot. Imagine me pulling something back. Yeah.
That's what I do. I just put it away. I put it away. And here, I think it was matter of fact, it was today. And I got so mad because I was watching CNN and they kept going from country to country. And the Aaron Burnett woman was talking about, oh, look at this looting. This is some of the worst I have seen. And she was like, look at these people doing it. And I was like, okay, I had enough. So I think I sent out the tweet earlier. And I said, you know, here this woman is talking about, she's looking at some of the worst looting she's ever seen. How about the worst looting I saw was these Fortune 500 companies who took all this stimulus money that was go to small business. The Lakers went and got what, $5 million, $10 million. What the hell the Lakers need that small money for? All of these companies, Five Guys, all of these big chains that went and got all of these millions of dollars that should have went to small businesses. Hell, there's people like you, me. I've never got a stimulus check.
No, never.
Anything. And I'm like, those are the guys who, you want to talk about looting, they took millions to billions of dollars. Those are the biggest looters. Man, I think on Twitter, I lost 72 followers today.
Yeah. It's real. It's real.
That's where our country is, man. I'm telling you. That just shows you where our country is.
Well, you just literally gained the 72 back on your.
That's what I appreciate.
Yeah. So go ahead and subscribe. I'm gonna put the link in. He got Earl Spence first. It's not out yet, Brian, but first thing in the morning, it'll be up. And he has a great 1 hour interview with Earl Spence, man. Yeah. And I always say, I don't care how black you are. When a black man looks another black man in the eye, is much easier to have a conversation. Yes, you know what I mean? And I'm definitely looking forward to that interview. Yeah. And we were talking about us as a society is fighting is having the fight of the century, and you had a fight of the century with cancer, man. Yeah. And talk about that.
Ooh, man, that was, hey man, let me tell you something. I think everybody has a moment in your life that's going to change you as a person. In the interview, you'll hear Errol talk in depth about that car accident. And I just think it's amazing that he has no memory of it. Yeah. The only memory he has is he talks about is waking up in the hospital in pain. And he said, that's the memory. He didn't remember that. He said, he just remembers that night out with his boys, somebody telling him, hey man, it's good to meet you, man. I just want to let you know, my father prayed for you. He said, that's all I remember that night. Is this dude, I met. And he says that this guy said, my father prayed for you, man. I'm so happy you are a champ and this and that. He said, no, other than that, all I remember is waking up in the hospital and in pain. And he said he had to look at his little girls and tell them, I'm sorry. Because he said, I almost took my own life and would have left them without a father. He said, I had to apologize to my family. He said, because I could see the hurt in their faces when they were looking at me in the hospital bed. It's really touching when he talks about that. But for me, yeah, man, I mean, I think I'm always a healthy guy. I've been a guy, probably the only guy in my family who gets a physical every year. No one else in my family does it. And, you know, always been a physically fit guy, martial arts, sports, everything. And I was about 6 years ago. So I was just getting ready to turn 42. And went to my regular physical, and you know, doctor was doing this, and this, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, since you're 40, you should always have a prostate exam and have your PSA test." I had no idea what it was either, none. And I'm embarrassed, but I couldn't tell you where my prostate was, didn't know what it was about. So he took the blood test, and then he was like, "Hey, you know, pull your pants down." I was like, "For what?"
Yeah.
Talking about? And he was like, "Well, we're gonna do the exam," and I was like, you know, I'm thinking when we was kids, they used to touch your balls and cough to the side.
Yeah.
I'm like, "What is this about?" And so he was like, "Yeah, I got to, you know, go up your rectum and feel." I was like, "Oh, heck no!" So he does the exam, and he says, "Ooh, you know what? I think I felt a little bump up there. You know, you need to come back maybe, and let's come back in a couple of weeks, see if it's still there." Went back a couple of weeks later, felt the bump again. Then basically said, you know, we need to do a biopsy. I was like, whoa, hey, what's talking about? He's like, it could be anything, could be nothing, but let's not say anything to anybody. Let's not get them alarmed and such and such. So don't say anything to your family, what have you. So had a biopsy done, which was probably the most uncomfortable thing in your life. When I say uncomfortable, imagine a horse needle that's that long, basically, that they shove up your rectum. That's how uncomfortable that thing was. And so, he takes these specimens, and then here's the crazy thing. I can laugh about it now. He takes the specimens and says, okay, it's going to take a couple of days. I will call you as soon as they come in. Okay. So now, those were the longest 2 to 3 days of my life, right?
I bet.
Couldn't tell nobody. And I'm waiting, like, what is these specimens going to say? Then I call the office after day 2. They are like, oh, yeah, Doc went away. He's on vacation. He'll be back in another 2 hours. Like, you got to be kidding me. And so it took 4 days before he finally got back to me and basically calls me and says, yeah, come into the office. I was like, nah, you can just tell me that. What'd they say? I've been waiting. He's like, yeah, I think you ought to come in the office. Go into the office, and he just says, Brian, I don't even know how to tell you this, but you got cancer and it's aggressive. And don't tell me you got a nephew that's getting ready to graduate from college, or you getting ready to go on a family vacation, because I got to get you in surgery like now.
Wow.
And I was like, or else. And I told him, I said, Doc, I've never had surgery in my life. Can we do something else? Can we, is there something else we can do, this and that? And he said, sure, we can try something, but if you don't get surgery and we try something else, radiation or whatever, and it doesn't work, you probably be dead within a year. I was like, oh, when I tell you could have knocked me over with a feather, I know what people say when they say like an outer body experience, because he was talking and it was almost as if I was just looking right through him when he told me that, because all I was thinking about was my boys. I mean, they were babies at that time. And I was just like, am I going to see them graduate? Will I see them ever get married? Will I even last this? Here I am, 41. I'm about, I'm going to be dead at 42. I couldn't believe it. And man, I was in surgery, I want to say 3 weeks after that day, and had emergency surgery. And God be the glory, man, that had the surgery. It went well, recovered fairly well. Now, the thing for my cancer, prostate cancer, was so aggressive, they thought they had gotten everything. But I want to say maybe after a couple of years, some stuff started to bubble back up. And so I had to go through radiation. I went through 36 bouts of radiation. And I was all the while, I remember it was during when we did Joshua Klitschko. So I was going to, what I would do is I would go take radiation on Monday, took radiation on Tuesday, took it on Wednesday, took it Thursday morning, got on a plane, went to London. We did the fight, got back here on a Sunday because of the time difference, got back here early Sunday, went right to the facility that afternoon, took another bout. And then that next week I was doing college basketball. So I was still working and taking those radiation treatments, which I wouldn't recommend because it was very fatigued. I was very tired. But the thing about it was I didn't want to give off the impression to any of the networks that it was beating me down, because then they start looking at you differently. Like, maybe, this may be something, or at least that's how I thought. I saw it in my head. And I just powered through it, man. And luckily I got through it and we knocked it out.
And now you're cancer free.
The cancer free. I still go. I have to go to the doctor every 6 months. Every 6 months I have a checkup every 6 months. But past few years, yeah, everything's been good. The detection is so low that it's been cancer free.
What got you through?
I think mentally, man, it was a lot of it's mental. I give a lot because from my martial arts training, and when you train for real and you train really hard. I'm a 2nd degree black belt, and if you're at a really good school, if you're at a really good school, it should take you about a good 6 to 7 years to become a black belt. And so it took me a good 6 years to become a black belt. And then you can't test again for another 3 years to become a 2nd degree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you're doing it, I mean, if you really, for the art and not just, pay money to get belts.
Mm-hmm.
And so my instructor, who's a brother, would always say, he used to always say that you're a martial artist and there's nothing tougher than you. And it's all here. You have to train your mind. He used to always say that empty your cup because you can always learn something new, but you're stronger than anybody. He came to visit me after I had surgery, man. I had 2 drains and I had the catheter, the whole deal. He brought like these little 2-pound weights and said, this is what I want you to do. When they take that catheter out and you're sitting on the couch resting, I just want you to sit on the edge of the couch and just arm curl these little 2-pound weights and then just stand up and squat with them. Stand up and just try to squat with them. Just get the muscle memory back. And he used to always say that you're a martial artist. You're tougher. You're tougher than you think. And your body, if you train your body like that, your body will be tougher than. And it really helped me. And because again, I didn't want my boys to see weakness. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna fight through this. I'm in pain, but I don't want them to see that I'm in pain. And I wanted them to see me they were walking by looking at me like, what is this guy doing lifting these barbells? And he's supposed to be sitting down resting, you know what I mean? But that I think that really got me through because I had to tell myself, man, this thing is not going to beat me. It wasn't easy. I'm not going to sit here and act like it was easy. There was many days I was dead tired. There were many days I did shows where I can remember distinctly. We did a show in San Antonio and we rehearsed. I went straight to the bathroom and threw up all in that bathroom. Had to go wash up. And
Rona Maidana? Was it Rona Maidana?
No, it was
Mikey Garcia.
I think it was a Garcia fight, and I threw up, and then came right. And I told Omar, Omar, the brother, works our security.
Yeah, I know him.
He walks it. And I told him, I said, you don't tell nobody, because he walked me to the bathroom and made sure nobody came in there. And I just told him, don't you tell nobody, man. Don't tell nobody, because I didn't want the bosses or anybody to know that I wasn't feeling well. And got a job to do, man. You know. People paying, they want to see a good fight. They want to see a good program. They ain't trying to see me sit up here and say, oh, I'm tired. Body's wrapped,
Right.
You just got to get through it, man. You got to get through it.
And for more stories on perseverance and boxing and how to get through it, make sure you go subscribe to his podcast, man. The Last Stand.
Yes.
Let's see where we at. You came in with 340.
Yeah.
You're at 417. So you got 70 somewhere in this.
I love it.
So we going. You want to take a few phone calls? Is that possible?
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that, B.
Yeah.
I'm opening up the phone lines, y'all. Feel free to call in as we have this conversation. See, that's why it's called the Barbershop, because I want to open up my circle of friends that I have in the business to the barbershop, and they get to come in and ask cold questions. And obviously, if you don't want the questions, tell me to cut it, and I just hang up. And so that's the rule. If you don't like the question, you say cut it. I just hang up on their ass. For real, man. I just hang up on them, B. No lie, man. That's what it is, man.
I love it.
Hey, what fight rings a bell? Like what they say, like your son or your third generation cousin walked up to you, says like, man, what was your favorite knockout?
Yeah, that's I mean, Deontay's has some devastating ones. I mean, from Dominic Breazeale.
Dominic Breazeale kissed his shoulder blade when he got hit.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he kissed his shoulder blade. I was like, man. I mean, we were kissing the ring in the 90s, but in 2018, we kissing shoulder blades and shit like that, man. I saw that shit. That shit was classic, man.
I would tell you, and this is a true story. I when they announced the Breazeale Wilder fight, we did at Barclays, and they closed it off to the media.
Yeah,
it was private. And so they said, okay, we only gonna have like our Showtime guys film it and somebody else film it, and we'll just send it out to everybody else. And it was because obviously the animosity between them, it was real. And so I was like, oh, okay. So they were like, Brian, we need you to get up there and really kind of control these guys, because I was like, okay, cool. So, what about in the face off when these guys face off? Dan's like, oh yeah. So what we would like for you is to stand in between them because there's no security. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Why would y'all not have security? They were like, well, it's private. So, Barclays Center's got their own this. It would cost more if we did security. And so that's why you saw when that fight got announced, I was standing in the middle of those cats. And like Deontay's beard was right here. Brazil's chest was right here. And I'm sitting here thinking like, man, I just got this suit, man. If these cats mess up this suit, I'm going to be mad as a mother. Really trying to like scrap for real. And then, I think it's Chris, right? I think
Chris.
Had the belt, and I had to try to push it. That was crazy. That's crazy.
We got our first call, 323. What's up?
What's up, Fred? Am I limited to one question? Or can I ask a few short questions?
That's two. That's sure. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, how you doing, Brian?
Man, I'm good, brother.
Yeah, so a couple things. I'll move quickly. I heard you are a Kappa. Did you go to a HBCU?
Well, Hampton University, my brother.
My man. Appreciate that. And did that help to shape you? I guess going to a school like that, and also was it? I guess I can say, did you have your father or grandfather around or a strong male figure? Because you seem like a real solid dude.
Well, I appreciate that. My story's a little bit different, only for the simple fact that my natural father died 3 months before I was born. So my mother was at the time 6 months pregnant with me. They were in a car driving from Columbus to Alabama to meet my father's grandparents. My mother was, because they were newly married. And so she had never met his grandparents. So they were driving to Alabama. My father fell asleep. They fell off the interstate. Car flipped over. My father broke his neck. And luckily, my mother, who with me in her stomach, and my older brother, who was 2 at the time, in the back seat of the car, survived it. And for a week, I didn't move in her stomach. And they thought maybe they were going to lose me. And they purposely didn't tell her that my father had died, because they felt like if they did, that would send it over the top, and they would. So she went almost a week without knowing that my father had really died because of her injury. She had a broken leg, broken arm, a glass everywhere. She was cut up really bad, my mother was. And so I didn't, when he asked me about a father figure, I didn't have a father figure until she got married. I want to say I was 9 at the time when I call him my father now. When they got married, I was 9. So that was really the first father figure. But for me to get to an HBCU, it was just because I had went to a high school at the time in Columbus that was all white, playing sports, and all the offers I had gotten were at Division II schools that was kind of like my high school. And I didn't want another 4 years at a predominantly white school. And I wanted to go to a black school. And Hampton was the place that appealed to me. And, I just said that's the place. It was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Some of my best friends in life to this day are my boys from Hampton University.
Wow. Well, salute to your stepfather, and also salute to Hampton for helping to cultivate and raise you into a phenomenal dude. Man, we learned a lot about you so far, and there's going to be tons more questions. You said you trained in martial arts. What arts do you train in?
So I train in I take ITF Taekwondo, and so I've been doing that for over it's been 11 years now. And so for me, that's the thing that gets me through a lot. And then I box as well. So that's kind of how I stay in shape. But martial arts was my love, and doing boxing. Matter of fact, I can't wait to that 30 for 30 this weekend on Bruce Lee that comes on ESPN, man. That's always been my guy. So I'm fiending to watch that this weekend.
I love it, man. I always tell people, because I train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and people always think that it's really, really easy to get a black belt. I'm working on a brown right now. Gabe Rudiger. And but anyhow, I always say it's like how many people do you meet walking down the street with a PhD?
Yeah, you're right.
You know,
right.
you meet people with bachelors and masters, but you don't really meet people with PhD. And having a black belt is like that. So you got a 2nd degree black belt, man. That's huge, and I applaud that. Thanks for that tweet earlier today, man, about the Fortune 500 companies. I saw that, and I was like, look at this dude, man. This brother really representing. And I started liking you more just from that tweet alone. So that was big.
Yeah.
My next question is, I know you work with the big three. What's the overall atmosphere like compared to the NBA and the NCAA games?
Oh, it's cool, man. Ice Cube is a great cat, man. Matter of fact, he was the second person we interviewed, man, Fred, on
I watched it.
Podcast. All you gotta do is go to YouTube and subscribe. And so
as I put the link.
it is mad cool because the vibe is chill, it's laid back. I work with Jimmy Jackson calling the games. Ice Cube is like, yo, do your thing. I ain't putting no restrictions on you. Y'all call it the way y'all see it. Cause he like when the guys trash talk, when they gonna fight, cause that's what he likes, man. Right. And it's always an honor when you look at those, because I looked up to guys like him. I'm like, man, this is Ice Cube from MWA. And when I first met him, he was like, yo, Brian, cause I'm a fight fan, man. That was great to meet you. I was like, yeah. It off cool, friend. Like, oh,
yeah, that's what's up.
Good to meet you too. But I'm like, oh man, this is Cube. So, the vibe of it is great. It's laid back. He lets us do what we know because he knows I'm going to prepare, and I want to make this just as exciting as an NBA game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great, man. Ice Cube comes from one of the best communities, in the world in South Central Los Angeles. So, you're in good hands. My last 2 questions, real quick, because you mentioned Ice Cube being one of your rappers. Outside from the big names like Jay-Z and the Eminems, the easy answers, who are the guys that you really like listening to growing up, and who are your favorite rappers now?
Growing up, I would say it was Chuck D, Public Enemy. I was a huge EPMD fan.
Crossover. Whatever you want.
Yeah. The Fisherman hats. EPMD was my group. Loved me some Chuck D and Rakim. I mean, so for me, those were my cats growing up, who I looked up to.
And right now?
Oh, right now, my kids get on me because I'm more mainstream, man. I'm more of a Drake cat. If Drake is performing anywhere, I think I've seen Drake. I saw Drake at the Barclay.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen Drake. Where else did we see him? I saw Drake in Columbus when I went to go visit my parents, and my youngest was turning 13. That was his birthday gift. We saw him in Columbus, and then we were doing the Mayweather-McGregor. We saw him in Toronto.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm a big Drake guy, man. That's my cat.
Drake, I just unsubscribed to your YouTube channel.
Man, I'm a Drake guy too. I got that Al Haven hookup too, man. Shit, I saw Drake's. Hey, DB and B. I saw Drake 5 times.
Yeah,
because he did 7 shows at Staples, and he did 7 shows or 6 shows at the Forum, and I was like, shit. Why not? I know people who know Al Heyman. Shit, fuck it. Give me some tickets.
he put on a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And my last one before I let somebody else jump on. I know you've covered several sports. So from those individual sports that you've worked, who are your favorite sportscasters outside of Morrow and the guys that you work with now?
Wow, that's a great question. Guys who I really like. I want to say from a guy who I look up to because I can only aspire to be as good as he is as a person is a guy like James Brown. James Brown is probably one of the most Christian-based, sweetest guys in the world, and he has a skill that I'm very weak in, and that is he can get on a set and look around and say, hi, how are you? Oh, hi, your name's Dave? Oh, hi. Hi, your name's Peggy? Oh, hi, how are you? And it could be 2 or 3 years later, and he'll get back and be like, hey, Dave, Peggy, how are you? how's Stan, your husband? Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. He can remember your name and anybody you tell him about, and it could be 10 years later, and he'll be like, hey, how you doing? How was Peggy? How's your little daughter? Something. He'd be like, I work with this person every day, and I can't remember his name. So he has a great skill like that, and he's just a real a type of guy that will call you and just say, hey, the Lord put it on me to call you and just see how you are. How are you today? Oh, that's great. I just wanted to hear your voice. Blah, 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 blah. I hope God's blessings continue. And I'm like, man, this guy can't be real. You know, he's like that kind of dude. And so I to me, it's not somebody that I look at like from a professional standpoint. I watch and say, oh my God, I love the way. It's just as a person. I think I would love to be like that, because I just think he's such a genuine, really good guy. And so to him, that's the first guy I can think of right off the top.
Wow, now that's a great answer. I'll finish with this, and then I'll leave out. I'll say,
I'm gonna give him your phone number, B, and y'all can just communicate later. Go ahead.
Don't subscribe.
Sorry, man. No, I just wanted to finish with this, man. I know you are familiar with the barbershop, and you know, if you don't know, we are an experienced and diverse group of individuals, and we're very active and involved, you know, with the sport and in the community. You know, we're some hardcore boxing enthusiasts, and we only ask for people to come here for just simple things, to be, you know, open to us, to be honest with us, have integrity, and have two passions for the sweet science and also passion for our people.
Yeah.
And if you represent that, then we represent you. And it seemed like you do, so you got our support 100%. So thank you, Brian Custer.
I appreciate it, Doc. Man, that means a lot, man. I appreciate that. And hey, man, hit up the website, man, laststandsports.com. Tell us who we should be having on the podcast, and we'll do our best to go get them.
That'd be dope.
And absolutely, man. I always take recommendations, man. And we try our best to try to get who you guys want to hear from.
All right, cool. Thank you. Peace out.
All right.
Peace. Brian, Brian Custer, welcome to the Barbershop, and thank you for sharing your powerful story with us, King. Your story of perseverance is encouraging. Black excellence on display. We trying to build, not destroy each other.
Cool. I love that.
And it's
love that.
Yeah, the community is kind of we've cultivated it, because I don't know if you noticed, but I'll invite you. Every big fight, I do events.
Oh.
So I do community events. And the Earl Spence, Sean Porter fight, I had 300 people, 300 black men and women there. You know what I mean? For the Mikey Garcia, Earl Spence fight, I had about 100 people. You know what I mean? So it just keeps on growing. Every big fight, because I know people are going to come.
Yeah.
Come and support Saturday. And that's a reflection of what goes on here. There's no filter. You know what I mean? They call me bowling ball head, milk dud head. You know what I mean? They could tell if, you know, they could tell if I ain't got none in 3 weeks. I'm kind of edgy and shit. You know what I mean, B? So that's what it is. That's what it is in here, B.
Hey, but one of the guys, and we haven't dropped it yet. Like, we just interviewed Matt Rule. He's the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. So we just interviewed him. And I'm not a big soccer guy, but I got to interview him. Timothy Weah. His father is George Weah, was a great all-time soccer player from Liberia. And his son is from here, was born here. And so we're going to interview him. He's supposed to be the next great phenom, kind of like Freddie Adu, what Freddie Adu was.
I remember Freddie Adu. Yeah,
exactly. So we're going to interview him. We did Jay Wright of Villanova. That one's going to drop. We did Bud Crawford.
Did you? You got Bud?
I got Bud. You know, here's the great thing about Bud. I had never met Bud Crawford in my life.
Really? Oh, wow. We got to hear this. Me and Bud go back and forth. 607. Hold on. Go ahead. Tell this story.
And so his one of his people, PR person, said, hey, I saw this podcast and I saw your podcast. It looks good. Would you ever consider talking to Bud? I know, you know, Showtime and they're with Top Rank. I was like, I think he's a great fighter.
Yeah, he's a great fighter.
He was like, good, because I think he really wants to talk to you because you guys haven't talked. I was like, let's do it. And yeah, we did it. And we're editing it now, putting some video and stuff on it, but we're going to drop that one in a couple of weeks. And but my point of that was we also did Michael Blackson, the comedian. Oh my God.
Oh, that's riot.
Fred. I'm just going to say, make sure your son's not in the room when you watch it.
Motherfuckers.
Oh my God. Oh, I've never
Hello?
first minutes.
I'm sorry.
All he said was ass, tits, the first 10 minutes of that whole episode. So make sure your son's not in the room.
I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Go ahead, 607. I mean, yeah, 607.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
How my brothers doing?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, look, I'm just glad to be up here with y'all, man. It's to talk to y'all, man.
That's what's up.
And I want to ask Brian, who was his favorite fighter out right now?
Wow, that's a great question, man. It's funny because I have you got special relationships with guys, but I would say if you had to pin me down and you say who is the guy I enjoy watching the most, it'd probably be Arrow. Arrow would probably be my favorite guy right now. I just, I like him as a person, and I like him because he's humble. But man, when you watch him in the ring, he is a dog. And to watch him spar, not only Charlo, that one day I was there, he sparred Charlo for 6 rounds. Charlo got out. They put this light heavyweight in. He sparred him for another 3 rounds. Then they put this heavyweight in there, and then he sparred the heavyweight for 4 rounds. I was like, this cat's a dog. So it'd be Errol Spence.
That's why I always knew Errol Spence can beat Terrence Crawford, because we seen Errol Spence can dish it and he can take it. But the question is, can Terrence Crawford take it? That's the way I look at that fight right there.
It's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites too, man.
Yeah.
And to this day.
To this day.
Champ.
Oh wow! Oh wow! That's my nigga in real life.
To this day. Well, you don't understand. You don't understand what runs through my body when I heard that right there, man.
Yeah.
The day that he said that, man, this is no lie. I broke down in tears because I felt that.
Wow.
To this day, because I was born in the South. Well, I was actually born in D.C., but I grew up in the South. And that right there that's what put Wild on the map.
Yeah.
Once he said that, I knew he was a real dude.
Yeah.
Because we got to have courage to say stuff like that, man. Younger generation don't know that, not unless you teach them that. But you got to have courage. And that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with our people. Is that you got to have that courage. And once we get that courage like that, everybody, not just 1 or 2 people, it's got to be everybody. And you got to stand on it to this day. But I love everybody, man. Everybody of all races, all colors. If you blue and I still love you. But that's all I wanted to say, man. I ain't gonna keep y'all long because I know some other people want to talk too.
Appreciate you.
And it's nice talking to y'all, man. And I love y'all brothers, man. And I've never met y'all.
I appreciate you, man. Love you too, man. Stay safe out there, bro.
All right, bro. Y'all be good. Stay safe.
All right, one. So this is like a Deontay Wilder can do nothing wrong channel. I don't know if you know that, but no, nigga, like Deontay is like I don't take advantage of the relationship that D and I have because the relationship is already established, and I'm not I'm an oxygen sanitizer type of dude.
Yeah.
But the access he gives me when we're together is just, interviews. I interview him when everyone else interview him. I don't really interview him 10 to 15 times a year like I can, but he just does so much for the community. Just his storyline, he put down the keg, picked up some gloves, won a bronze medal, and became a world champion. How about that at 21 years old?
Absolutely.
That's special, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable, man. And you know what I will say? Here's what I like about Showtime in comparison to Fox is I like the rawness of Showtime versus Fox. Like, you know what I mean? There's much better character development on Showtime, and there's the dialogue, like there's organic dialogue You know what I mean? I think there's more framing on Fox than it is on Showtime. You know, I like how Showtime allows the dialogue to dictate where y'all go in terms of like 24 access and all that.
You know, it is hard for me because when you work for both networks, sometimes you're like caught in the middle.
Yeah, you should. I told you likability is high. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me personally, you know what I mean? How's Steven Espinoza, by the way?
He's good, but
I'm telling you alive right now. How's Steven Espinoza? Because I know you're gonna say he's great. We just move right on, right?
You know, the thing about it is that Showtime does a great job, as you talk about, building these fighters up, and they love it because, you know, that's what they've built that network on, prize fighting and boxing, and they love it. They take pride in it, and I'm not saying Fox. Fox had broadcasters trying to learn boxing, and that's the difference.
He has an intro, B. All right, and he's 60. He's like 87 years old. You know, he got one leg in the grave, one leg out. So I gotta give him his intro for he come to LA and get me.
So, all you scared to death Negroes.
Brother Minister,
what's up, Brian Custer?
What's up, my man?
All right, what's up, King Fred? What's up, King Fred?
How you feel, man? How you feel? Oh, y'all got a connection. Oh, go ahead. It just hit me. Go ahead.
Yeah, Norfolk State and Hampton University.
You put one of
like Virginia, man. I can tell you've been around Virginia for a while. Yeah. I'm like, oh, Hampton. That's why everybody like his ass. Okay. I got that thing. And I said, now they're gonna ask this man questions. This man can't expose his blackness. Like, not too much of it. Not too much of it. But I can tell you sitting just as comfortable in the barbershop. I saw you lean that head back one time like Ray Charles. You started talking out the side of your neck. I said, oh, watch it now. And white folks be watching Fred Chandler. Don't go off now.
Oh, man. Man.
My thing is, the guy said, that's what's wrong with us. I happen to be an optimistic person. I don't believe nothing wrong with black people. I don't believe nothing wrong with us. I believe it's something wrong with every damn body around us. Because it's just weird that you can move in this country. And I was just watching it. If you come from Somalia or whatever, they're just talking about how they moved some of them to a different state and they got their own community. And the lady from the congresswoman who's a Muslim, she got here in 95 and she got moved ahead of everybody. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You got the Asians, the Koreans, the Vietnamese, and we still standing strong. And finally, the whole world is coming to our aid after this last killing. It's almost like everybody say, oh, wait a minute. That's enough. That is enough. I can't take it no more. I sit up here watching the little white boys and handcuffed them behind the back, but then the police ain't beating the hell out of them. They might tackle them hard. And then one guy was hollering, get your knee off his neck. And the other policeman reached over and pulled the knee off the guy's neck. I said, damn, they still doing it? But it was a little white boy. And I was like, okay, I guess this is the world we living in right now. But I didn't really have no questions for you. But my thing is, I went to sleep on Jack Reese ass. I ain't went to sleep on you yet. So, and see, Fred like great. I don't think Jack that great. Because see, I don't know it. And see, I'm one of them guys. You ain't my enemy, and you ain't my friend. So more likely, I don't like you.
Yeah.
I go to the fights with my nephews, who we used to have movie night. 4 brothers, 4 sisters. So I got a whole bunch of nephews, and they always like to come to my house because I was the cool uncle. Now these little young motherfuckers take me to all the fights. And I was like, all right, shit. That's when I first saw you. I think I saw you when we was in Philadelphia for, what's the little guy named from D.C.? I always like to go watch him.
Tank Davis.
Gary Russell.
No, from D.C.
Gary Russell.
D.C.
Gary Russell.
And I don't know what that dude was, them racist ass cats. But he was tearing that guy's ass up. And I asked my nephew, I said, is that Brian Custer up there in the corner? The arena won't quite full, but it won't empty either. So who was he fighting? What was the guy's name?
Tuck.
Tongo or Tuck? Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Would you call in that fight?
Tuck Nyambayar.
Nyambayar. Yeah, he had a weird ass name. All I know, one of them walked out in the hallway on me after the fight. Come on. I think my man won. I said, man, if that's what your eyes told you, they didn't lie to you. Like, fight over, man. Let's go find some women and get some pussy and go to a hotel room, go to sleep, fight over. Shit. I was like, damn, is it that bad when you lose? I'm like, but yeah, man, I enjoy you calling fights, man. You a breath of fresh air, and you're right. James Brown is too good to believe. I was like, I can't remember shit like that. I think Fred can. You got that kind of memory, Fred?
I do.
Yeah, Fred got that kind of memory. But yeah, Brian, you don't need to have that kind of memory. Just be you.
I appreciate that,
man. And you're doing a good job, and don't let nobody tell you nothing wrong. Ain't shit wrong with us. Ain't nothing wrong with our people. Because everybody done tried to drive us crazy, and we still here. All right, King, I'm back in the chat, man. Love you.
Appreciate you, man. We hit our goal. I said we're gonna get him 100. You at 440. You gotta. We did it, B. We had 100.
I love that, man.
Aiming at 340. You got.
I love that. I'm trying to 500 now. Now you got.
No, on the replay. On the replay, you gonna get 500 for sure. On the replay, you gonna get 500, man. I don't want to take up too much. I know it's late over there for you, man. And man, I'm the barbershop. We're forever grateful. Please come back in 2 or 3 months and say hi. You know what I mean? You got one more thing. From Patty Dean. Yeah, we got beautiful women in here too. You know, they go to the bathroom. You know, we got some women with single mothers that come here. They just wanted to see their ass and shit. Yeah. So we got them in here too, man. We got one of the most beautiful things to witness is seeing a black man laugh and clown. Needed this tonight. Thank you for being king. See?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and she fine too, man. She fine. Yeah. You know,
you're going to this next gathering we have at the fight.
Yeah. It was for Jungle Fever. It was Patty Dean to Holly Berry. You know what I mean? And the only difference is she didn't show up to the last. She didn't show up to the last audition. Yeah, she would have got the role, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Any last words, man? You want to say? Because I know it's late over there for you, man. I just want to say thank you for coming in, man. And you got a great team, by the way, too. A beautiful team, too, by the way.
Thank you,
yeah, thank you, man. Tell I said thank you. Tell I said thank you too. For
yeah, man. I listen. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Definitely. This was more fun than I anticipated.
Fun in here.
That's number 2, and number 3. Again, I'm happy that folks watch the fights and support us. And I'm looking forward to us coming back in July, is what Espinosa told us. And I don't know. I think he said L.A. It may be L.A. or Vegas. Will come back because they're trying to find a facility, either a sound stage or something that we can kind of control.
Yeah, the sound stage. I think Top Rank got Vegas.
Okay.
Being out. I mean, hopefully it's in Vegas so the fighters don't have to pay all them taxes. You know what I mean? You know. It's a big difference.
Looking forward to that. Looking forward to doing the best I can with this podcast. How long you been doing this show, man? How long you been doing
for real? Like this type of show since March.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like coming in here, getting guests and doing interviews and stuff like that, and they just took to it. Like I get to Brian. I get to be myself. Yeah. I got a few degrees back there, and I get to be a nigga too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love it, and they gravitate towards. They get to come beat themselves. I got people that are 10 times smarter than me. I got 100 people in it that could beat me up, but we love each other. You know what I mean? Man. And they get my corny ass personality, man. I'm glad you laughed at my dumb ass jokes. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love that. I aspire to do this. I just hope that this podcast can be, I say that half as successful as yours. And again, I hope people go to the website.
Are we going tomorrow?
If there's somebody they want me to go after, email me. Say, hey, look, why don't you, try to get this person? We'll do our best to get that person in. They can support the show if they want, and then just go to YouTube and subscribe, man. That's all.
Well, they did a great job on the replay. You're gonna get 100 more, guaranteed. For sure, guarantee you that. Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for coming in, man.
Absolutely.
Coming in.
Each other up next time we see each other, man. And hopefully that's soon in July.
Yeah. Appreciate you, brother.
Okay.
All right, one love, man. Thanks, V. Give it up, man, for Brian Custer, man. Hey, man. He didn't come and get a haircut, man. He just came to look at Patty Dean a little bit. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, you got shaved up a little bit.
Quarantine, bro. I'm telling you, it's quarantine. Be good, friend.
Appreciate you, brother. All right, thanks, dog. Hey, man. Hey, that was a fun-ass interview, man. Hey, we doing a hell of a job, man. The energy is great in here, man. From Jack Reese to Daphne Springs to Liz to our conversation we had Saturday and Sunday and now Brian Custer on Monday. You know what I mean? Ock hit me today and he was like, Fred, why you didn't hit me yesterday? And I told him, I says, man, I just didn't want no guest deserve to take what I was given yesterday and how I felt. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been fair to him for him to come on the show yesterday. So I kind of lied to y'all because I want to be PC and shit. But I was like, I'm not in the mood for a guest because at any given moment, I could just snap and just curse some shit out. You know what I mean? I had that much type of pain in my heart. You know what I mean? But it was Brian cool. I told y'all Brian is cool. Y'all gonna be shocked. I told y'all motherfuckers. I told y'all Brian cool. I see him every week at the fights. You know what I mean? When PBC was with Showtime every week, I saw him every weekend. We didn't talk every weekend, but I could see him always with his son, especially on the East Coast fights, always with his kids, man. And, you know what I mean, doing a great job, you know. So he didn't know, but I was at the same Drake concert with him, you know what I mean? He didn't know it, but I saw him, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, it's, yeah, man, that's where we're at, man. And I'll reopen the phone lines and we'll go from there and we'll be good. All right, I'll reopen the phone lines. If you guys want to respond to the interview, you guys more than welcome. The phone lines are open. We are going to continue to subscribe to his channel. Maybe we can get him to 500 tonight. He came in with 340. I was just very interested in 440. Oh shit, 444 B. That's the greatest album of 2018. 444. You know what I mean? That's a hell of an album, 444. You know what I mean? He had 444. We did it, man. We did it. And yeah, man. So and that Earl Spence interview is gonna be great tomorrow. I'm excited to listen to it and watch it. So yeah, Drake is like H Money who loves 25 different teams or wears every jersey. Yeah, wasn't he a Kentucky guy? You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that was yeah, you're right. That was a fun ass interview, man. I'm on a high, man. I'm on a high. Thursday, we got another great interview. I think this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be on polygamy. It's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? I know as much as you guys know, you know what I mean? And so Thursday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, open lines, phone lines. We're gonna rock out. We're gonna have a great time. And yeah, man. Y'all got any questions? Call in, man. Don't leave me hanging. Let's go. Phone lines are open. And you just sub. I appreciate that. Yeah. He'll come back in a couple months. You know what I mean? He'll come back in a couple months and we'll review the summer. You know what I mean? And I'm going to send this to Steven Espinoza because I want him to fully grasp and understand the magnitude of us. You know what I mean? We got over 1,000 people in here right now. You know what I mean? I mean, these are just people that are in here, but you know what I mean? It's just important that that he hears our voice. You know what I mean? 447, yeah, so that's good. He got 107 new subs because he started at 340. I'm excited. And I'll get Jason Whitlock. I'll call him. And shout out to Jack Reese for hanging out in the chat. Thanks, King. What I was gonna say. I'll call Jason next week. He's getting a lot of phone calls right now. He got a lot of friends, man. You know what I mean? I wouldn't consider myself a friend of Jason Whitlock's. You know, we have a mutual respect for one another. So I'll call him next week. Remind me to call him next week or the week after. Give him 2 weeks, man, because he'll have a new job by next week. You know, I mean, he's he's a top 5 personality in sports in this type of profession. So he'll get a new job. You know, if Dan Raphael can eat mayonnaise sandwiches for Impact, he damn sure. Oh, it's already up? Oh shit. 504.
Lemon tint to B12. Double check the details. Gotta cross my T's and dot my I's or I can't sleep well.
What's up, 504?
What up, Fred?
How you feel, big homie?
This is Beverly Hill, man.
What's up?
Hey, I was calling in to let Brian know Kansas played Hampton the first game, and we gonna whoop that shit out of them.
He ain't on, but he'll listen to it. He'll listen to the playback.
Yeah, I wanted to call in. I was laying in the bed watching. I had to jump up on my phone, man.
Damn, man. I wish you could have called in and hollered at him for a second. It was late for him, man.
We gonna whoop that shit out of him.
Yeah, you will be the favorite for sure.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But everything okay with you, huh, man?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for asking. Everything great, man. How's your son? How's his family?
Hey, he good, man.
Right,
he
beautiful,
good.
Beautiful.
All right, man. I'm gonna stay in contact with you, man. God bless you and your family, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you, dog.
All right, baby.
All right, one. Pound for pound Broxton. Brian is cool as hell. Good interview. I told y'all y'all gonna be shocked. Everybody, I know. Every show getting better and better, and they supposed to be. Yeah, facts. Freddie, do you feel bad for getting fired? I mean, no, I don't feel bad for him. He's a professional. I don't want no one feeling bad for me either. You know what I mean? Like, listen, being hired by someone is like inevitable. Who said this? It was a football coach that said this. The one thing that's guaranteed when you get hired is you're going to get fired. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. You know, he's a grown man. My interpretation of Jason, he ain't a pity party. He ain't a pity type of person. You know what I mean? We disagree on 9 out of 10 things. You know what I mean? You guys heard the interview. You know, it was, I just didn't go rah, but I mean, y'all got the answers. We disagree on a lot, you know what I mean? And maybe he'll expand his vernacular and see it from a different perspective. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, that'll be a question that y'all be able to ask him. And that's why this platform is here. You know, he's a customer to the barbershop, man. You know what I mean? What's up, Red? I was shocked you didn't call in.
Double check the details. Gotta cross my T's and dot my I's or I can't sleep well.
I was shocked you didn't call in.
Oh, no, because y'all was closing out right when I wanted to get in.
Oh, you should have hit me.
But no, I was sitting enjoying the show.
Oh, that's what's up.
But when DB was asked a question about his father, that was like,
that opened up a lot, right? That opened up a lot, right? Imagine he survived death twice.
Yeah, and that as well, man, because that's the one thing I've always feared, and it's like, especially like, I enjoy just sitting back. I need to call in, was just enjoying listening to the story, especially losing a father at that age, and then you inside your mother's stomach, so you're fortunate enough to be here, and then you know you face death once again with cancer, and I always wonder, like, asking people, because a lot of times people don't explain, you know, bouts with death in full detail. Like, I'm always big on symptoms. Like, what are the symptoms? Because I'm a person who's afraid to go to the doctor, how they speak about, man, don't go to the doctor and this and that stuff. I'm like openly, and I go to the doctor for fucking free and don't ever use any of that stuff. Like, so I'm always like wondering, like, what are the symptoms someone feel? What do you go through? Because I think if I got the diagnosis, I'm just gonna die. That's how bad my fear of going to the doctor is. So I was like compared, you know, to hear that, but you know, having the kids, wonder if he gonna be here the next year, and then just to beat that. So that shit was kind of deep.
Yeah, it was. It was very deep and telling. It's beautiful that he was comfortable enough to tell the story, you know.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Because that's always like the fear, especially I have my babies. Like, don't ever want to hear news of cancer, of having to deal with cancer and fighting it, because now that becomes the thing of getting over that fear. Like, my babies are here. Damn, down do I go? I'm scared to go get a fucking shot. Like that's how man, how bad it is with me.
Damn.
Like, it's bad, man. So it's like hearing that story and hear him deal with those battles and dealing with cancer, still working his job, traveling overseas for the Joshua Klitschko fight. Like it shows he's just a true warrior, man.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. I was sitting back here amazed by that and blown away. That's why I like these interviews. I like fucking interviews. And the other thing I was going to say is like, Dylan is a Black person in media. It is just incredible how we have been able to bypass mainstream media where they try to create these ceilings as far as how far you can go or creating this barriers to entry. And now we have backdoor these motherfuckers to where they're starting to turn around and run out the door to try to figure out this damn attraction to YouTube. And and the way we report media, people don't go through the news anymore. I see stuff on like Instagram and other YouTube channels that hit the waves before the mainstream media even reports it. So I'm like, people, and then I hear what people like, even the current situation where the media tries to run this scenario of, oh, it's Black folks. They don't control the media. Fuck what projections they want to put out that are negative. They don't control anything because right when they want to put blame in their old tactics, people refute all that shit by what they have on film. So it's like, I love the beauty of what's going on with media and the way that we can bypass all that shit. But the story was compelling. So I was sitting back enjoying that.
Yeah, it was a great
story.
story.
I need to call in. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you calling in. You got anything tonight? I ain't seen nothing on my thing. You got anything tonight?
No, I had did an interview. Matter of fact, I had a young white kid on there who, when I posted a video of when the police were shooting people with projectiles. This kid happened to hit me on one of the videos. Like, man, it was a lady who got shot with a tear canister that lodged in her head in La Mesa, and then this kid hit me. It was like, man, that happened to me tonight too. And he sent me a video of them shooting him in the head. So I had him on there tonight. Where they shot him in the head with one of them rubber bullets and shit.
Wow. I was listening to Stay Ready. I was listening to Stay Ready before I came on. So I got to go check yours out for sure.
Oh, right on. Because I know they got that. When is that protest out there in Houston tomorrow? I think.
Yeah.
Right?
5 to 7. 5 to 7. I think it is tomorrow. Yeah, I saw it on this thing. They were meeting at a complex or something like that. Sports complex, something like that. Yeah.
Right. And then they have that police chief. That police chief, man, I've grown respect from what he spoke out. He spoke out against the president, speaking about what this is about and doing more of a police chief, being more of like how they have community policing, but a chief really stepping in the community, understanding what the community is faced with when dealing with within law enforcement and some of the ills that reside in it, and him understanding that and then speaking out against the president. Like this idiot president calling for freaking war against his own citizens is just the most mind-boggling shit. And it's time to remove that dude. And I think it shouldn't even go to election. I think it's time to remove that dude.
I don't think he can win. I got for it. I appreciate you. I don't think he can win. I think it's a done. If he gets reelected, it's rigged. it's beyond rigged, dog. Because his you can't put American troops on American citizens, dog. That makes no sense. You mean to tell me these troops are gonna kill their neighbors? They're gonna kill their best friends?
Right. And the Pentagon's mind boggled by this shit. The Pentagon generals are mind boggled. Like, what the hell is this fool talking about? And then the GOP senators are starting to step up. They have remained quiet, but I think after hearing this, this has reached kind of a tipping point to where it's like, nah, this dude is gone. So what's next? He gonna push the button? Like,
he's gonna George Bush the button.
You're right. The country and shit. Yeah,
you're right. That's why I said out of office, he's gonna be the most dangerous man in the world. That's one of the reasons why I want him to lose, because I want to see how crazy he's gonna get. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I want to see him out of office. I want to see how he responds to not having. He went from having all the power to no power.
Right. And he's losing it, man, drastically. He's losing this shit every day because not only that, with these protests he's seeing, these protests are in opposition of him as well.
Yeah, true.
Along with the death,
yeah.
he's also in this, and that the protest is at his front door. When he's doing that speech, you hear tear gas, guns firing off because they're right there.
Yeah.
And he shook, and he tried to do the little church thing, like, fool, you came out of a bunker praying to God. Hopefully, but God ain't about to look out for this fool. I can't wait till they wake up and they like putting from 1914 whenever he was born to 2020, and that's it.
Facts. That'll be, man. Just can't wait.
Yeah, they're gonna suspend my page because I'm do a celebration when he kicked the bucket.
Oh, it is up. It is up. The Earl Spence interview is up. It's 56 minutes, man. 56 minutes. I'm gonna watch that, and I'm gonna do a review on it so he can get some more subscribers too. Yeah, that's gonna be beautiful, man. Brian Custer is awesome. But yeah, man, you and I both gonna celebrate. You know what I mean? But don't get your page suspended though. Don't get your page suspended. We need you. You know what I mean?
Oh no, they tend to do that for Trump. Like my Facebook constantly, and then I read some crap about Zuckerberg and his employees falling out with him protecting this clown. Anytime I make something about Trump, my page has been suspended multiple times. So I'm like, I knew something internally was wrong with Facebook, and then I'm like, man.
Couldn't you like have a backup page, and instead of you saying it, you just share it? Is that a better idea?
I'll just wait till they lift it, but I just go.
No,
right
I'm just
back
saying, like so on, so you don't get, so your main page don't get penalized for the actual saying it. You know, all you're doing is sharing it.
Right. I don't know. I just because I'll be like, it's too much work. My thing is, I'm like, if they tear a page down, I'll start a new one from zero. Just work that mug out because my message is gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So,
Facts.
But yeah, that's all. I'm gonna open it up so someone else can call it, Fred. But that was a dope ass interview. But I'm sitting back here as a father, father tripping off of his story. So it's man.
Yeah, that's a great story, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I told y'all was gonna get Lavelle Crawford on. That'll be funny. Yeah, I told y'all gonna be impressed with Brian. I told y'all got. I mean, people got to see. The funny thing is, we only get to see people doing their jobs. You know what I mean? And that's why. That's why having them come in the barbershop is gonna be the shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling y'all, in a few months, this is gonna be a stop. This is gonna be a stop. Trust me, and we're gonna have them all coming in. You know what I mean? So that's what we're gonna do, and with the help of us. You know what I mean? So
hell yeah, and you helped him grow his page, so that's the other shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get back in the chat.
I appreciate you, big homie.
For sure,
all the time,
bro.
dog. All the time. Yeah, we got Jack Reese coming in, man. What? Someone fucked up your haircut, man?
Made my first meal on my own. I don't need your help.
What's up, big? What's up, man? What's up? Who the hell you quarantining from, man? What? You got that stank in between? What the hell you doing? What you got a mask on in the house for?
Hey man, you know how it is, man. You just gotta be safe. You gotta be safe nowadays, man. Hey, Fred, this shit crazy, man. Fuck that. I'm gonna keep my mask on, bro. But look, Fred, I could have called it.
Put a helmet on, not a mask, nigga. Put a helmet on.
Hey, Fred, check this out.
What's up?
You know, I could have called in, you know what I'm saying? But I always like to beam in, you know what I mean? This is the barbershop. As you guys can see, I got the wave spinning, you know what I mean? 360 on them. Agent Brother ain't got shit on me, bro. You know what I'm saying? 360, that is. But yeah, man, Fred, it was a hell of an interview you had with Brian Custer. You know what I'm saying? That was a great interview. I'm sorry I missed it, you know what I'm saying? But I won't miss when you have or Barack on the show. You know, I'm a DAZN type nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be there that day for damn show. You said, I'm gonna be there for Aki and Barack. That's for damn sure, man. But man, shout out to Donald, the triple OG with the super chat. He says that's why Jason stayed so long, getting his ass fired. Man, man, shout out to the triple OG for sure, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the chat. My brother Eric in St. Louis. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to D Bizzle, the OG. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to triple OG, of course, Reggie Owens. You know what I mean? J8, you know, D Hodges, my whole squadron. You know what I'm saying? We in here, Fred. But I want to say, man, shout outs to Floyd Mayweather Jr. for sure, man. Floyd Mayweather, you know, he's gonna pay for the funeral for George Floyd, man. Shout outs to Money Mayweather, man. Shout outs to Money May. That's what. For sure. That's a great deed right there. You know, Fred, you've been calling him out, and I know he's been listening to the show, man.
I know he listen. 100%.
You see, he's trying to straighten up his act. You know what I'm saying? So that's good, man. It ain't, you know, it ain't over till it's over. We all make mistakes, and Floyd trying to, you know, he trying to get right. He trying to do the right thing, and that's good, especially when he's in a position of power. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you had a video I think you created today. You were saying, celebrities such as P. Diddy, Oprah Winfrey, they need to speak out. They need to step up to the plate. And I totally agree with you, Fred. You know what I mean? I totally agree. But Floyd Mayweather, he's doing a great deed. Shout outs to Money Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Devin Haney, Devin the Dream Haney, who's ready to go protest. You know what I'm saying? One of the only fighters that spoke out about what happened to George Floyd, and Devin Haney's ready to go protest. Shout outs to the Dream. And I told you yesterday, Fred, Devin Haney, his nickname, you know, was inspired by Martin Luther King. For sure, it was inspired by Martin Luther King, the dream. I had a dream. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, appreciate it, Fred. You know what I'm saying?
It actually was the game and his first album, the documentary, Dreams.
Oh yeah, Dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard it was Martin Luther King. You know, I'm out here.
I'm joking.
You know, man, I had a dream, man. You know, say that one day, Fred. You know what I mean? I seen you on the front line like Malcolm. You know what I mean? Can't nobody do it like Fred, man. All up in the cop's face like this, nose to nose. Nobody. Hey, Fred, you was nose to nose with that cop. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be.
Tarango, what was his name? Tarango.
And you, Tarango. That should be a hashtag. I hope he got to watch it. And you, Tarango.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, Fred. That shit was crazy, man. You know what I mean? You doing the right thing. You know what I mean? We here to support you, and I appreciate it, man. Shout out to Devin Haney. You know me, I'm Team Devin Haney all day, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DHP, Devin Haney Promotions. We in here, man. Shout out to Bill Haney. Come back to the show, and I can't wait for Ak. Who is it? Ak or Barack that's pulling up?
Ak. Barack will be on too. Mm-hmm.
For sure, man. I can't wait for that, Fred. Appreciate it, man. But shout outs to everybody, man, that calls in on the show, everybody that tunes in. I appreciate everybody, man. Peace, Fred.
All right, that's love. Appreciate you. Yeah, that Steve Cunningham interview with Blue Blood was epic, right? Epic. Hey, Steve Cunningham, dog. He might as well just go on and be a civil rights leader. I'll follow him wherever. He might as well go on to be a civil rights leader, man. You know what I mean? Because he own it, man. He own it. And I believe, and everything he say on social media is 100% believable to me. You know what I mean? And yeah, my eardrums are unfortunately already ruptured. Oh man, DB, man, where you at, big homie? Where you at, man? Man, the plate is full, man. Appreciate Jack Reese hanging out with us in the chat. Appreciate Eric from St. Louis hanging out in the chat. UB Boxing News. I appreciate Patty Dean, King Israel. You should have made that final audition, Patty Dean. Shit. You know what I mean? But, you know, you probably have better things to do. You know what I mean? What do I know? Yeah, man. I like this. You know, yeah, I'm getting used to this. I meant to call V. Bozeman today, and I forgot. So next week or the week after, we should have her on, and it's gonna be fun. DB.
Lemo 10 to V12. Double check the details. Gotta cross my T's and dot my I's, or I can't sleep well.
What's popping?
Man. Hey, man, I love when we get these brothers on here, man, and the name of the show is so perfect for getting people into their comfort zone and being able to chop it up and shoot the shit.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. It was cool. I love when I was like, man, I don't know if Jack Reese want to hang out with me because I like soul food and stripper poles.
Yeah, you see what I wrote in the chat? Jack Reese already going to eat soul food and stripper poles. He just ain't invite you. Hey,
what's up?
Is that the real Jack Reese in the chat right now?
Yeah, that's the real Jack Reese. Yeah.
Okay, well he in there clowning. He was clowning.
Oh, is he?
He done clowned a couple of people.
Oh, he having fun. This is getaway. You know what I mean? He loves
it. Yeah.
It's a safe place for everybody, man. If you're part of the community, it's a safe place. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right on. You know, a lot of people wasn't speaking out about all of this BS that's happening right now in terms of fighters. Mm-hmm. But I don't, you know, we usually cover boxing, but I'm all over MMA. And the UFC middleweight champion is a Nigerian who lives in New Zealand. His name is Israel Adesanya. They call him Izzy. He's the middleweight champion, undefeated, pound for pound, and all of that. Mm-hmm. He's been out there protesting all week. He out there protesting every day. He putting up signs, banners, like he out there.
In New Zealand?
Yeah, he in New Zealand.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So just go to Twitter and just, you know, type in Israel Adesanya or just look up his Twitter if you got it, you know, or his Facebook and Instagram. He on everything. He big and so he heavy into social media, but he posting on everything. And he going in on dudes who, you know, he like, listen, you ain't got to protest, but get the fuck out the way. Mm-hmm. You know, he like, this ain't for everybody. Yeah. And, you know, he definitely one of my favorite fighters and one of my favorite personalities in the sport, you know. Brian Kinney, man, truthfully, I ain't gonna front. I had like 6-7 more questions, but I'm like, I know I can't ask the question.
Well, I'm glad you didn't ask them because we actually interviewed Brian Custer, not Brian Kinney. So I
mean, oh man. Yeah. I keep doing that too. Every time I talk to my brother, I keep saying that. But yeah, man, I had some more stuff for him because, you know, when they open up like that, man, it gives us an opportunity to see where their brain is and where their heart is at. You know, and their true fabric. And that's when we can become a fan of somebody, not just because they can do their job well. You know, anybody can be well studied, you know what I mean, and prepared. Mm-hmm. But when we can see who the man is behind the profession, that's when we can really become fans and advocate for those people. You know what I mean? Like we did tonight. You know, he got 100+ people.
117.
Yeah, I mean, where else can you do that?
And the replay is gonna give him. He's gonna hit 1,000 by the end of the week because the replay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, like I mentioned about the martial arts, man. You know,
what's up, Mr. Early? My 7th grade school teacher's in here. What's up? What's up? Yeah.
You said one of your school teachers?
My 7th grade school teacher's in here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is she a lady?
Nah, male.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. We don't care about that, dude. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, sir. And yeah, okay. But man, this dude with that story, man, he was meant to be here. He was here for a reason. You know, with the cancer and growing up the way he did, and almost didn't make it here. You know what I mean? But he definitely had a purpose, man, and he's here serving it, and we appreciate that, man, and respect to him. Who we got in tomorrow?
Us. It's all about us. It's gonna be a lot going on tomorrow, man. We're gonna have a whole bunch of. You got a lot to talk about, man. The autopsy came back. You know what I mean? If you guys want to talk about Jason Whitlock some more, I didn't get a chance to talk about. I didn't get a chance to talk about Floyd. People still want me to talk about Floyd and him giving back. I'll revisit that. People want me to do that, and you know what I mean. Because I can tell by the DMs.
Yeah, those platforms are big enough. And, you know, are those people that's actually coming to the barbershop, like really getting in the chair every week and getting a fade? Are these just random people that just want to, you know,
half and half, you know, half and half.
Yeah. Those dudes got big enough names and big enough platforms. And, you know, I don't think we really need to give them more shine.
Okay. I'm with that.
By just talking about them.
Okay. I'm with it.
You know what I mean? I think everybody can put like in the chat right now too. Also, you know, the 3 or 4 people that we would like to see and start working on.
Yeah, Willie D. Y'all big. So we're gonna do a Instagram. We're gonna hit people on Instagram tomorrow. So Willie D and Derek Grace are the 2 most popular ones I've gotten in the last 24 hours. So we'll pick one tomorrow. I mean, think of some other people too. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we can get big Willie D on here. Mm-hmm. Read these Nikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call me the gangster of love.
Yeah. yeah. We'll have some intros set up for him for sure.
Mm-hmm. Do it like a Geo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for real. My dude. Yep. Hustler Slim. Peace to Hustler Slim. People Fernandez. Phil J 508 out here in Cali. My boy Lenny DiCarlo. Plant-based lifestyle. JJ. Bumpy Thompson. Oh, you know what, man? I was on my way to go do some protesting, right? And met this chick. You know what the hell she gonna tell me?
What'd she say?
Play the song,
Appreciate you, big homie. Appreciate you, big homie. Hey. Oh man. Appreciate you, man. Hey, man, I love this community, man. I love when we could be an asset to each other too, Aunt Fresh. What's up, Mr. Early? Philip, man, what's up? Carl, Asia, J.A. Dixon, Eli, Lonnie, Raphael, why not? Reggie Owens, what's up, big homie? We gonna do our best to get Willie D. I don't know him, never met him, never spoke to him. We'll do our best. What's up, Jarvis? Philip, Asia Math, J.A. Dixon, what's up, Philip? Eric. You didn't call in today, man. You drinking tonight, huh? You drinking and chilling tonight, huh? What's up, Phil? Hey, man. Thank you. Thank you, E. I appreciate you coming in every night. Shout out to the third shift, Jarvis and Jay Cool. Hey, Brandon, what's up down in Texas? What's up, third shift? Stand up. Aaron Jones, man. I appreciate you. Kenyatta Ali. Oh, I didn't get a chance. Oh, shit. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I created this 12-point. Go to my Instagram and go. Oh, this is your favorite part. Hold up.
Games can play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth. Hey. It's all in what you do. Hey. Some things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, well, thank you, Aaron Jones. Call People Hernandez. All I need is 5 mics. Hey, what's up, King Israel? Yeah, man. What's up, H-Con? And yeah, so I create this 12-point thing where we can start the conversation of what we should be asking for as Black people in America as it relates to police brutality. And I'll bring it up tomorrow. And but yeah, man, stand up, Fifth Ward. Yeah, man, we in this motherfucker, Lavelle. DB. Oh, I appreciate you, DB. That's love, man. It's a starting point. You know what I mean? I'm not married to it, but we got to elevate it. While we're fighting in the streets, we got to have motherfuckers in our boardroom and them coming to make deals with us. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got them on the hills, man. White people tired of losing money. White people don't want to start over, y'all. Shit, they don't want to start over. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to have to start over because we're going to burn down their establishment because people are in these streets, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, just chilling. Fred, respect. Appreciate you, E. Hey, Fred, what's the name of the song? It's my song, Trill Hill. You know what I mean? Send $1.50 to my Cash App, and I'll send it to you. Just send me your email, and I'll send it right back to you. I'll send it to you tomorrow. So, yeah, last time, and we out this motherfucker. Sing to her, man. Sing to her before you punch her lights out, y'all. Hey!
Your bro. Can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. Hey. I'm telling you the truth. Hey. It's all in what you do. Hey. Some things you gotta do. Hey,
hey, hey, hey, hey. Hey, I'm gonna challenge Paulie to come on the show. He ain't gonna come on. They probably put a gag order on them now. They put a gag order. I know they had to by now. Anyways, man, because it's going to cost them money. It's going to be hard for Showtime to get these subscribers back. We the only ones with money, y'all. Hey, how funny is this? The economy just literally flipped upside down. The people who had the low end jobs got all the money. They getting $4,000 a month from unemployment, man. Invest that shit. Team up with your best friend. Y'all getting the same amount of money. Y'all put that shit together. Y'all got $8,400, man. Invest that shit. Y'all got enough money to put a down payment on a home. You know what I mean? If you live on the outskirts of a major city, there you go. You know what I mean? Live together for 4 years, flip that equity, and guess what? You live in the rest of your life is the best of your life. Love y'all, man. We out this motherfucker, man. I'll holler.